Service your existing car with us right now.
And it's worth £500 off your next car.
Yes, at Macklin Motors Toyota, we'll give you a £500 voucher off any of our brand new Toyotas when you book in for a service with our expert Toyota trained technicians.
We even have complimentary courtesy cars available, so book your service now and get £500 off any new Toyota.
Visit macklinmotors.co.uk or see us at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Macklin Motors, the new name for Toyota sales and servicing in Glasgow.
Valid on services till 30th September. Excludes Motability and fleet customers. One £500 voucher per vehicle purchased by 31st December.
The Go Radio Football Show with MacklinMotors.com. Hosted by Paul Cooney, Barry Ferguson and John Hartson. Listen live weeknights from 5. Talking Scottish football first.
Let's go!
26 minutes away from kick-off. The first Old Firm derby of the season. Barry Ferguson is here. John Hartson. John, the Celtic team, we revealed it an hour or so ago. Are you happy? Same again as last weekend?
Yeah, very happy. The only possible change would have been Maeda for Abada because of Maeda's closing down sort of power, running at the Rangers' defence. But no, he's gone with Abada. Why wouldn't he? Paul hat-trick last week. So yeah, it's the same 11 that started against Dundee United.
And that is, of course, Hart, Juranovic, Carter-Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Abada and Jota. Barry, the Rangers team, McLaughlin, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic, Kamara, Lundstrom and Davis, Tillman, Kent and Cholak.
Yeah, look, the one was Stephen Davis. I thought Scotty Arfield would have come in, but listen, I'm more than happy with Stephen Davis. You know what he brings to the Rangers team, a real calmness, real top football player, experience of these games. So look, it's still a strong Rangers team, and looking forward to it. Nervous, of course, because you know the form that Celtic are in. But on the flip side of that, Rangers are also in good form. Both teams high in confidence, so I'm expecting an absolute cracker here, Paul.
You still say, as you did last night, your prediction for today, Barry? What do you reckon?
Look, the most important thing for me is the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. You know what Celtic are going to be like. They're going to be like a steam train. They're going to come out the traps and go for Rangers straight away. Rangers need to be prepared and match the energy of Celtic. And if Rangers do that, I think Rangers have got a chance of coming away with a result. I know everybody's tipping Celtic to win easily, but I've got a sneaky feeling that the way that Gio sets Rangers up, certainly in European ties away from home, I think it will be similar today, that he'll sit in and try and hit them on the counter-attack. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm hopeful he does that, but maybe he'll want to go and press them high up the pitch. But the problem you've got with that is the way that Celtic interchange and move the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how Rangers do. But look, I'm looking forward to it. Always nervous before these games,
How
Paul.
did you sleep last night?
Not very well, if I'm being honest with you. I was like that as a player. I'm like that now, obviously, as a supporter. And I love watching these games.
The only downside of things now is that we both love to be out there playing.
Of course.
That's the only thing, but we can't now. We had our day, it's gone. All we can do now is commentate on it and enjoy it, and obviously shout on our teams. But I just feel I'm all over Celtic today. I just think the way that they're playing, they're absolutely on fire. The system is something that Ange will never change. It's that high press, it's that high energy football, and the way that this dismantling of Rangers are a different kettle of fish to Dundee United, but the way that they're dismantling teams at the minute, their movement, their poise, they've got some fantastic wide players who get good numbers as well, who get on the end of crosses and score goals. Kyogo in from his hat-trick again last week. So that's my view. Generally, in the last 2 or 3 years, I haven't quite thought that way about this Celtic team. But today, I think they come into it in outstanding form, but form sometimes goes out of the window when you play Rangers.
You're covering yourself there.
But today, I genuinely feel today, there's amongst the Celtic fans, there's a real feeling that the way that they've gone about it this season, 5 wins out of 5, 21 goals for, 1 against, the defending better. I'm all over Celtic today, but of course, it's Rangers. Anything can happen. Rangers are capable of beating Celtic today. They've showed they've had some great results of their own this season. But for me today, I am all over Celtic.
That's the thing, you can never tell in these games, and we're only 22 minutes away from kick-off. The early kick-off, Barry, do you quite like it? We're used to it now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're used to it. It's always round about 12 o'clock. This one's obviously 12:30. Look, it never mattered. I mean, the night before the game, I don't know what John was like. I never slept. I tossed and turned. Just wanted the game to come around as quickly as possible. It's a great build-up, the full week. I know both teams had midweek cup games, but I'm sure Thursday and Friday their full focus would have been on the game today. And as I said, the atmosphere at Celtic Park is going to be electric. Rangers, sadly for me, and it's the same when Celtic come to Ibrox, only 900 fans. I don't like it, but listen, they've got to deal with that side of it, because you know what Celtic are like. They've been relentless this season, certainly going forward. The side of when Celtic do go forward, they do tend to leave themselves a wee bit wide open, and that's where I'm hopeful that Ryan Kent, as I spoke about last night, he's got a big part to play for me today. He's a player that I think a lot of. Now he needs to bring it to the big games, and hopefully he does it today.
People are listening all over the world. They're listening not just here in Glasgow and the West, and they're listening in London. Richard is tuned in along with Jonathan and Jack, and the boys are off to watch Fulham and Tottenham later today. Martin and Patrick and Daniel are listening in Merseyside. They're going to Everton against Liverpool, but they're listening to the big derby here, the Old Firm derby, which is live on Sky as well, and live here, keeping you up to date, watching Sky, in the presence of Barry Ferguson and John Hartson. Thanks to everyone. Gary's been on saying, wow, it's fantastic. So there's great coverage on the telly. Many of your friends, Chris Boyd, of course, on the telly there as well. Our own Andy Walker. Nobody like them apart from Barry and John Hartson. It's some lineup. We've got still Stan Petrov on the telly there alongside Ailey Barber. But here on Goal, loads of messages coming in for the game. What do we think is going to happen? Quick break. The countdown's on to kick off.
The Go Radio Football Show with MacklinMotors.com. Your local friendly experts for new and used cars. Let's go!
So we're getting ready for the big kick-off today, and also getting ready for the turn, we know, of the massive European football here in Scotland. Real Madrid will be on the flight on Monday to be here for Tuesday, and Rangers will be off after this game in a couple of days to Ajax. Yep, the return of the biggest nights with Steen, a leading mechanical and electrical contractor here in Scotland. And to celebrate, we're taking the Go Radio Football Show, out of the studio to the Radisson Red here in Glasgow on the banks of the river. And we want you to join us. Celtic Real Madrid on Tuesday evening. John Hartson's going to be there, along with Mark Guidi and myself. And then Wednesday, Ajax Rangers. It'll be Barry. You're coming in, so we've got the big two. We've got you both. I'll tell you what, the wage bill this week must be stretched.
It's a fair shift for you on Tuesday. It's going to be a late one.
We're looking forward to it though. It will be.
I'm not so late on the Wednesday with the early kick-off.
Because Rangers the earlier kick-off, of course. Rangers kicking off at 6. So what we'll do is we'll build up, as always, 2 hours from the Radisson Red. Then we'll watch the game, and then afterwards we're going to do a podcast, which you can hear just thereafter, and then some material for the next day on the show. And if you want to be there, thisisgo.co.uk. We'll have a special Euronight podcast with Steen that's going to be available. Subscribe to the Go Radio Football Show, to the podcast, to automatically receive the newest edition when it lands. It's going to be amazing. These are special days, Barry.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Both clubs back in the big time. And as you just mentioned, there's some of the teams they've got in their groups. Celtic with Real Madrid, European champions. And then obviously look at Rangers group, Liverpool, some of the players that are going to be on show. It's fantastic for the game up here. And listen, it's where I believe that Rangers and Celtic should be in the Champions League.
This game today, Celtic against Rangers, like no other game. Here's the manager, Ange Postecoglou.
You understand the sort of impact it has, particularly, as you said, on our supporters in these games. But all that's pretty much irrelevant if you don't play well. I mean, I've always laid stock in one thing, and that is you go out there and you play your football and try and be the best you can be. And all this other stuff tends to take care of itself. I think if you need extra motivation tomorrow than you did on Wednesday night, or that you may need on Tuesday night, then you're never going to be successful. Our motivation has to be the same every time we're out there, and that is to be the best we can be, play our football. And, we understand the significance of it to our fans. We understand the significance of it in terms of the league, but that shouldn't mean that we're more motivated tomorrow than we were on Wednesday night. And I haven't seen any evidence of that from the players. You know, they treat every game with equal respect and equal desire to be successful.
37 league games undefeated, John. You feel confident today, you said beforehand there. You're happy that Abada's in. And the bench we haven't mentioned yet: Siegrist, Jens, Giakoumakis, Haksabanovic, Moy, Turnbull, Maeda, Forrest and Rolson.
Yeah, one of the big reasons why I'm ever so confident today is because the start that Ange just said there, and he's absolutely right, it's irrelevant to what the players have done up to now, because today is the biggest game. Whereas Dundee United last weekend was the biggest game. Every next game you've got to go and win them. There's pressure on, but today, if you don't play well against a very good, this is Celtic's probably biggest test of the season. They're playing against their big rivals. It's at Celtic Park. They're in magnificent form, but they've got to go and play well. As Ange said there, you've got to go and play well. And then Tuesday night, it's a different competition. It's the Champions League, the biggest club tournament in the world. And again, it's another test. It's another challenge. But I think he's absolutely spot on in terms of how he sees the players playing today. He's picked a very, very strong team.
Is that the best 11 for today, would you say?
I think so. The only possible change you could make, I would think, would be Maeda. Abada got a hat-trick last week. I'm thinking, if I'm playing, I've scored a hat-trick the week before, I want to go and play again.
What would you say if the manager dropped you?
You'd have to accept it. Sure. I was dropped a couple of times under Martin O'Neill. I think I did score a hat-trick once and then dropped. You accept it. You don't like it, but it's a team, it's a squad, and hopefully the attitude to show is hopefully I can get on and make an impact in the game.
Barry, is that Celtic's strongest team for this game against Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with John. Maybe two changes: Jens, who's come in and looked decent, and Maeda for Abada. But you look at the strength and depth that they've got, certainly on the bench. But I do believe maybe one or two changes, but it's still a strong Celtic 11, and it's a strong Rangers 11. I mean, I'm looking at the three in midfield. Three in midfield for me are top football players: Stephen Davis, Lundstram and Kamara. And we look battles. I always believe battles are won in the middle of the pitch, and then you look at Celtic's three: McGregor, who I rate so highly, Hatate, O'Reilly, who we never knew anything about, who's turned in to be an exceptional footballer for Celtic. So that's going to be a brilliant battle in the middle of the pitch with 6 quality players in my eyes.
Here's GVB looking to today's game, which is only 10 minutes away.
I was very excited for the game tomorrow. Big game, first Old Firm of the season away. So we are ready for the task. We train well. It's a very difficult ground to go to, but we have everything to play for, and we are ready for the challenge we're facing tomorrow.
On the bench for Rangers: McGregor, Ridvan, King, Devine, Jack, Arfield, Wright, Fashion Sakala and Alfredo Morelos. But the talk's not about Morelos, Barry, but you wouldn't rule him out coming on today. Ryan Kent's the one that you're thinking about. I mean, they're all important. Lundstram, you love him as well.
Yeah, but in terms of Ryan Kent, I'm just being greedy with Ryan Kent. I want to see more. I think he's a quality player, but I do think that there's more in the locker.
Do you mean goals wise?
Yeah, I want to see more assists and more goals from him, because I do think he's a top quality player. He's a high level performer, and there's no bigger game than the Old Firm game to produce. In terms of Lundstram, delighted for him. First 6 months was tough. There was a bit of criticism flying about.
That's gone now, hasn't
Rangers fans weren't too sure, but I always backed him because I'd seen plenty of him when he was at Sheffield United. And for me, Lundstram at this moment in time, along with Tavernier and Golson, is one of the first names on the team sheet. He's been exceptional for Rangers.
John, the Rangers players that we mentioned, Ryan Kent, could be a big afternoon for Juranovic.
Yeah, well, I think there's several duels. I think on the pitch today, that's one of them. I think Juranovic and Kent down that left, Kent's left hand side, Juranovic's right hand side. Also, you got Kyogo, Sands. You got Kyogo will run in behind, make clever runs, dart in, run across the line, and then dart in, between the gaps. O'Reilly and Lundstram, Barry was just saying how much of a unit Lundstram is. I think he's got better as well. I think the more high profile games, and particularly in Europe last season, I think he's really stood up, John Lundstram, and was almost a must, in the middle of the park for Rangers. So again, O'Reilly, Neely went Swansea last season from MK Dons. In the end, it was Ange and the Celtic recruitment team that got him to Celtic. So that was a great signing. And of course, you got Cholak, who's been on fire for Rangers against the likes of Carter Vickers and Starfelt. That's another battle today. And we were talking before the game. Always, you want to get the best of your direct opponent. If I can win more headers than my centre half, if I can peel away, and get opportunities to score, if I can rough him up a little bit and be a focal point. And that's what Barry wanted to do. He wanted to get more time on the ball, have more possession, play more passes than his direct midfield opponent. If you've got more players in your team that get the better of the opposition, their direct opponents, generally you'll go on and win the game.
John, a few callers came on the other night and said if Celtic win 5 points clear, it was Rangers fans who said the league would be over.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. This is the 6th game of the season. Celtic and Rangers still have to play each other another 3 times in the league. Ange just made the point. It'll be a fantastic win, but you flip that around. If Rangers win today, Rangers can go top of the league. So from their point of view, they'll be thinking the same. 5 points at this stage of the season will be a nice lead, but under no stretch of imagination, this will be a bearing on the title if Celtic go 5 points clear today.
Barry?
Yeah, it's a crazy thought. Listen, far too early in my eyes. What I'll do, whoever wins today, I'll give them a shot of confidence, no doubt about it. But I do firmly believe this is the biggest gap, Rangers and Celtic, with everybody else, and I firmly believe the league title will come down to these games. Look, you've seen, obviously Rangers dropped a couple of points, Paul, at Easter Road a couple of weeks ago, but that was down to bad refereeing in my eyes. I think if Rangers had kept 2 players on, certainly Lundstrom on, they would have won the game. But I honestly believe it's going to get right down to the wire, and it's going to come down to the 4 Old Firm games.
The biggest derby in the world. Barry, you say that all the time, no question.
Country mile.
Everton Liverpool today.
Don't touch it. Don't even go there,
John, you played in the North London derby.
Swansea Cardiff comes close, but I'm only joking. No, listen, I think if you ask the real top players around the world, the likes of Larson, the likes of Gascoigne, Laudrups, the Souness's, all these guys, the McStays, when they tell you that this game is the biggest game on the planet, you have to take note, and generally they do say that. So huge game, massive fixture.
And of course a full card this afternoon from 3. We'll talk about that before, but it's the only show in town, isn't it? Celtic Rangers. It's only 5 minutes away.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors, representing some of the biggest motoring manufacturers across Scotland. Let's go!
And a lot of you are reacting to, there's a picture on the socials of us all taking 2 minutes past 12. Jim White's been on. He's listening in London as well, Barry.
I wonder who Jim will want to win today.
Well, he's given me I don't know about wanting, but he's given me a 3-1 prediction.
Who for?
He wouldn't say, but he said it's going to be 3-1.
Jim was at my ball last weekend.
I know,
Jim
he loved it.
Yeah,
it was absolutely brilliant. Noah's
good. Yeah, he's good.
Isn't he? Sure, mate.
When I was a young kid, growing up,
Yeah.
I think I've said it many a time.
Yep.
Scottish sport, loved it.
2
Loved
o'clock on
watching
a
Jim.
Sunday. Yeah, he was brilliant, isn't he? And he's fantastic on the radio. Go in one ear and his own show at other times. Noah is watching just now, and Leo, he thought he was going to be at the game today. He got injured this morning in a football game. He'll be all right, but he's got the telly on, and he's got Go cranked up as well with his dad Paul. Good luck to him. It's swelling up, but
Yeah, get a bit. Okay. Pack your ice on it. 10 minutes every couple of hours. He'll be fine.
Rest it up.
Well, it must happen then. It's been from Barry Ferguson. John, you agree as well?
Yeah, rest it up. Get plenty of rest. Get fit for next week.
Here's the teams if you're tuning in. We're going to keep you right up to date. Look, the teams are in the tunnel. Barry, you know that so well. We see Rangers at the moment. There he is. James Tavernier, you're a brilliant Rangers captain. What's he saying there? He's just turning to a few of the players.
Yeah, listen, I think most of it would have been said inside the dressing room. Now it's just about getting your focus on. And for me, the big thing for Rangers is you know what to expect from Celtic, Paul. The pace they play at, the energy levels that they produce. Rangers need to match it the first 15-20 minutes, because Celtic are going to come out the traps big time and go for Rangers and try and get that early goal where it settles them down. But Rangers need to make sure they're solid and compact and frustrate them. But an important thing as well, frustrate the Celtic fans, because they'll expect Celtic to score early doors. So it's important that
frustrate them.
Rangers keep the back door shut, and then players like Ryan Kent, Tillman, who's been exceptional, Paul. 20 years of age, not played a lot of first team football, and you see him, he's a good size, good physical presence, but he's got real good football ability, and I'm looking forward to see how he produces, what he produces today in this game.
Here they go, John. The Celtic players have joined him. They're going up down the tunnel. I see Juranovic and Čolak had a quick hug there up the tunnel. It's great to see.
Yeah, obviously both know each other. But there's nothing wrong with that. I hear a lot of pros saying, I hate that, shaking hands. But listen, if you've got a lot of respect for him, whenever I went to Man United, first thing I do is on the halfway line, and I go up to Giggsy and he'd come up and we'd shake each other's good luck today. That's why I don't see anything wrong with that. But for me, you're looking for cool heads today, Paul. You're looking for your star men to produce the goods. Come to the fore today, and discipline. We not mentioned discipline yet. Nope. Discipline. You can get carried away with the crowd. You can go in for a really sort of. And when we were playing, me and Barry, you could sort of, tackle physically really aggressive early on. The ref would come over. Maybe you possibly will get a yellow. Nowadays, you miss time of tackle, first 10-15 seconds, you're off.
Trigger happy,
you can't. There's no room for that anymore in the game. Them heavy, strong tackles where people say leave a bit on somebody in the first. That doesn't exist now.
Nick Walsh, the referee today. What about the strikers? That's why they get the biggest bucks. Kyogo, I see the stat there. 10 goals in 10 Premiership games. That's obviously going back to last season. And Čolak, 7 goals in 7 games this season. Rangers.
Yeah, delighted for Čolak. £2 million signing, Paul. There was a bit of criticism flying about a few weeks ago about Čolak, and I thought it was far too early. Far too early. Listen, he's not your technically gifted centre forward, but what he comes alive inside the box. His movement's really good, and listen, he does the hardest thing in football for me. He scores goals, and 7 goals in 7 games. It's a brilliant return.
John, Kyogo at the other end.
Yeah.
What a buy for Celtic.
Oh, great buy. £6 million from the J League. Ange obviously knew him working over there, and his goals, but his running, the runs, he's so clever in the box. His movement is ever so good. Last week, that goal, the first goal, one touch finish, clinical. The other one he showed outside the box when he bent it in the top corner. So he scores an array of goals.
We're
I think
to go.
It might be the strikers that might just decide the result today, Paul.
John, you can hear it in the background from Sky there. Does that affect the players, the new ones, the Celtic players who, they've been over the course before, but when you get that kind of noise at home?
Well, you're looking for calm heads. You're looking for the experienced ones maybe to settle the new ones in who've not got much experience of this game, but within 25 minutes, Paul, within the first 20, you know what type of game you're involved in,
I've just noticed there, as soon as the kick-off, Glenn Kamara sprinted towards Callum McGregor.
Right.
So obviously that's one that Gio's looked at. If you stop Callum McGregor on stop him producing good passes and getting on the ball, I think you stop Celtic. I honestly believe he's that important. So I noticed that right away from kick-off. Glenn Kamara is going to be touch tight with Callum McGregor.
Remember that in one of the games last season, Rangers could have gone 2, and it came to McGregor, and he went through and Celtic scored. Yeah, Kyogo, an injury in 1 minute, less than a minute.
John Lundstrom's come in, and it was a strong tackle, but he's actually, I think, Kyogo's shoulder.
Yeah,
Kyogo's holding his shoulder, which can be a nasty one. It's one of those where, it's difficult to recover from if you do your shoulder early on. So this could be crucial if he recovers from this.
Giakoumakis warming up already. Lundstrom, he's quite a unit, isn't he, Barry? Yeah,
Lundstrom, he's a real physical presence in the centre of the pitch. But listen, also he's a good footballer, Paul, and that's what you've got to do. Look, Lundstrom's went in with a strong challenge there, but that's what Lundstrom's in there to do.
Kyogo's just gone off the pitch just now with the physio, just standing at the side there. John, you've got to watch, haven't you, with a shoulder? Yeah, they're just trying to manoeuvre it just now. It doesn't look good.
This could be a concern for Celtic. Giakoumakis, yes, will just directly replace him if he can't carry on, but hopefully the physio Tim Williamson's over there and looking at it at this moment in time. So be interesting to see if he comes back on, or if he's feeling any real pain and he might not be able to carry on.
Let's hope it's not a dislocation. We haven't seen a rerun of what actually happened there. It happened in 50 seconds or so. So Celtic down to 10 men at the moment. Kyogo getting treatment at the side. And the treatment being they're just trying to see what is the position, the situation with his shoulder. So 2 minutes, 17 seconds gone. It's going to be a throw into Rangers. The pictures are live on Sky. We're here on the Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. And we're here until 3 this afternoon. If Rangers win, they go a point clear at the top of the table. If Celtic win, 5 points. So, John, you've spotted something?
I think he's struggling. He's holding his shoulder. He's just walking down the other side of the pitch. I hope I'm wrong, but just looking at the pictures from the far side.
Then he's back on.
Kyogo's, he's actually come back on. Sorry,
Right.
He's actually on. He's giving it a go.
So that's good news for Celtic that he's back so early. But here come Rangers coming through. Ball slipped to the right for Tavernier, but just too much
great
on it.
area Tillman takes up.
Yep.
He's such a clever footballer for the 20 years of age. That's something that I've noticed. He goes in areas where he can take it on the half turn. But I'm just looking at pictures there. I think Kyogo's struggling big time. John's right there. He's out.
He's gone. He's on his knees. He's holding his shoulder. Yeah, that's a blow.
Is that part of the tactic? Get in, immediately.
Well, I don't think it's
not to injure him.
No, it was a strong tackle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Kyogo, it's normally a leg, your shin, or your knee. But to actually pull his shoulder out there, John Lundstrom's gone in, and it's just a freak. It's just like a freak injury, really. His actual shoulder has just gone. You can just see him sort of wincing straight away. But again, it looks like he may come off. It's one of those where you can run other injuries off, you can run knocks off to your legs, but if your shoulder's popped out, then you're going to be in agony. So that's why, even after this 3 minutes, Giakoumakis is just about to come
Celtic. He's so important. The way that he manoeuvres the forward line, he gets about. His movement's exceptional, and his work rate, that's one of the biggest things. Now, Giakoumakis, he's different type. John will know more. He's more of a physical presence up there. So listen, that's a big loss for Celtic this early in the game, Paul.
Giakoumakis a couple of goals already, but I don't think he started, has he? Apart from at Ross County, so he hasn't started a league game. But Giakoumakis, and John, the Celtic fans got to love him last season after a slow start.
Yeah, well, it was almost when Kyogo got injured, Giakoumakis come in, and it was almost like he did ever so well. He scored goals. He helped Celtic win the title and the Premier Sports Cup. So he was excellent in that phase where Kyogo was out for a while.
And of course, Real Madrid on Tuesday night, and then they'll be away the following week. So it's starting big time now, isn't it? Midweek and weekend games.
And I would think Giakoumakis now, who's not been playing regular, it's been Kyogo who's been on fire. Giakoumakis now will get regular footballer now.
Is it going to change anything in the way they line up? It's just, he's a different kind of player.
Yeah, different kind of player. He's more of a focal point. He'll come towards the ball. You can throw the ball in the box because that aerially he's a bigger threat than what Kyogo will be in the air. So yeah, different type of players. But I still think Celtic will try and get the ball wide, put the ball in the box, and hopefully pick Giakoumakis out.
As they're doing now to Jota, tries to play it through, and it's going to be a throw in at the far side, just in front of the Go Radio screen, which is up at the moment there, and the biggest derby in the world. 60,000 are there. Is it 59,200 Celtic fans, 800 Rangers fans? We wish it wasn't that way. If only the directors could sort it out the way the managers do with each other, GVB and AP.
Surely they've got to sort it out, Paul.
Yep. Look at that.
Listen, I've said all along, if you ask the current players, you ask the ex-players who have been involved in these sort of games, that makes it the fans.
Sure does. Yeah.
And I don't like the 900 or so. You see Rangers there, Lundstrom coming out, he's midfield. They're really pressing at a good tempo, Rangers.
They don't want to give Celtic any chance
you can't.
to get that rhythm.
If you give Celtic space and time, Paul, they'll hurt you. Yeah. So that's what I think Rangers today are looking to be physical and make sure you don't give any of the Celtic players any time in the ball, because good players, if you give them time in the ball, Paul, they'll hurt you.
September the 3rd. This isn't February the 3rd so far, is it? 6 minutes gone. And you know what I'm saying, Barry? That night, you, me, Davy Provan were here, and by this time it was wave after wave attack.
That was 45 minutes.
From your point of view.
Yep. I've went through an Old Firm game. They just blew Celtic blew Rangers away, but look, it looks like a different mindset also. It's not just about what they do on the pitch, it's upstairs, Paul. be confident, because they're good players, these guys. They just need to handle the occasion.
Giakoumakis, John, getting a good touch there deep for Celtic, and he's won a corner kick as it's played forward to Jota.
Sands does well there, defends it really well there, and again, happy for him. Just quick corner for Celtic here.
Quickly taken, played towards the box, but Rangers defend well, and here's Ryan Kent back defending and taking the ball out of trouble. It's going to be a throw-in, but it's a throw-in to Celtic. Quickly taken. You can't miss a thing. Celtic, great chance, should be a goal for Celtic.
What a finish, Abada.
Leo Abada, 8 minutes gone, came out of nothing.
Is he come off Barisic again?
Let's just see the replay. They didn't waste any time.
Has John
with
McLaughlin got to be stronger there with the shot on goal? I'll need to watch the replay, Paul. But again, you know what Celtic are going to do when it goes out for a throw-in? They always do things really quickly. You've got to be switched on.
Yep. You can't switch off for a second. We're going to see it again. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is out. He's complaining there to the linesman. I'm not quite sure why. And
it's a great time to score, Paul, because your most potent centre forward has just been taken off. All of a sudden, Celtic bounce back and score. Just watching it here. It's Ryan Kent actually who's dallying. He tries to play out. That's just got to go straight down the line from Ryan Kent. I don't know how many players he's trying to beat there. O'Reilly flicks it on, and Abada makes a great run like he does. He goes inside the far post, and it's a really good ball. It's O'Reilly who helps it on there, and Abada gets across, hits it first time, and it's into the bottom left-hand corner.
There, as soon as it goes out, when Ryan Kent loses the ball, it goes out for a throw-in. You've got to be switched on there, John.
Yeah, and it's Sands who don't get tight enough in the box. John McLaughlin gets a hand, but not strong enough hand, and the ball ends up in the bottom corner. Great start for Celtic after 6.5 minutes.
Should he have done better, the goalkeeper? Looking at it again, Barry?
Yes.
He got a hand to it, but it wasn't strong enough, and he put it... But it
comes to the first phase. Look... With a throw-in. Look, Ryan Kent has got to do better, but listen, it goes out for a throw-in. You've got to be switched on there, Paul. I keep using that word, switched on. Rangers didn't switch on. Celtic took a quick throw-in, and then you lose a goal, and then now you're under a bit of pressure straight away. That'll give Celtic such a lift.
Ryan Kent there, Baz, what's he do? Because you just have to play that up the line. There's three Celtic players looking at him.
Just get it up the pitch, John. Sometimes
he's trying to take players on in his own.
But even at that, it does go out for a throw-in. So he doesn't lose it in play. It goes out for a throw-in, and then again, just as I said, who is it? O'Reilly who runs off? Is it Tavernier? And O'Reilly who obviously puts a cross ball in, and then Abada gets a shot. You got to be closer to Abada, follow the run. As a goalkeeper, got to be stronger in the save.
And Abada does that run very well. You've also got to be side on, because Abada will come in off the line and make himself a chance like he did.
10 minutes gone, Celtic 1, Rangers 0. They lost Kyogo after only 3 minutes. He was injured in the first minute. He went off. On came Giakoumakis, and then in the 8th minute, quick throw in 3 seconds later, it's played in from Matt O'Reilly to the feet of Leo Abada, who knocks it past the goalkeeper, who got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out.
Gio will watch it, but he'll be fuming at the goal. There's a few mistakes in there, Paul.
It's clever from O'Reilly as well, because it's Jota with the quick throw. O'Reilly doesn't take a touch, he plays it first time, and he just manages to pull it back slightly to the penalty spot area, and then Abada arrives perfectly well. First time shot, left foot across his body into the bottom left hand corner. Maybe John McLaughlin could have done slightly better. I always think if you get a hand, then you should save it.
Do you?
It's obviously a weak hand. Do you know what I mean? That John McLaughlin showed there.
John, for Celtic, in the next few minutes, they've got to try and keep this intensity and try and get a second. And for Rangers, I'll ask Barry in a second.
We've just seen it again here. It's Jota with the quick throw. Oh no, we just cameras.
They've come away from it.
Got to be aware. As soon as it goes out for a throw-in, got to be aware of the situation and what's round about you. I think Rangers switch off at that goal. Yep, you can say about Ryan Kent there, but it does go out for a throw-in, Paul.
It looked as
though it's a poor goal from Rangers' point of view. Gio will be, as I said, he won't be happy with that at all. He'll not be happy with a few of the things. Ryan Kent, and then with a throw-in, no matching O'Reilly's run, and then Abada getting a free hit.
See, I don't think Giakoumakis said just put your body in. I know he's give a foul away against Sands, but
it was a foul, John, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was a foul. He just a little bit over aggressive there. Just nudged him with his shoulder.
in front of the referee, so he's...
Yeah, Sands has gone over, but listen, he's clever. You know, if it's too much physicality from...
what should he have done there, John? Sorry.
Just got his body in the way, Paul.
Right.
Just try to judge where the ball's going to land and just get your body in the way, maybe get a foul. But
he was a bit obvious, wasn't he?
Over aggressive.
Here come Rangers at the other end coming forward. Stephen Davis, but Celtic intercept. Greg Taylor plays it to Carl Starfelt, one of his first touches of the game so far. 12.5 minutes gone. Celtic 1, Rangers 0. Back to Starfelt. You know the way they knock it about at the back as Joe Hart plays it out to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Down the right, Cal McGregor uncharacteristically loses the ball there, and it's Ryan Kent down the left. He's got Lundstrom with him, plays it to Lundstrom 20 yards out. He looks up. Who's there for Rangers? He plays it right, and it's played out to the left here. Looking for Ryan Kent. You're looking for him to get involved, Barry, and that's what you said.
Yeah.
These runs is what you're looking for.
This
You
is
see
what
Ryan
I'm
speak
looking
to.
for.
He's into the box, but it goes all the way back to Joe Hart.
Yeah, when he gets in that area, certainly when he travels inside the box, then you're not unsure whether to tackle him or not. That's what I want to see more from Ryan Kent. These sort of areas. This is where Celtic are dangerous on the break at the pace they break it.
Good play there from Jota.
Nelson's got to deal with that.
Intercepted, but they haven't cleared it yet. It's Jota again. O'Reilly Hatate involved. It's played out to the right to Lila Bada.
Juranovic for the overlap.
Yep, on Juranovic. He's gone down. Referee says nope. It goes to Glenn Kamara. Good turn from him to Lundstrom, but he's beaten by Giakoumakis. Giakoumakis 25 yards out, strikes well over the top. John, what are you thinking then? With 14 minutes gone, it's non-stop,
I think it's under more than an hour. Yeah, you look at this from Abada. Is he clipped there? Is he clipped?
What do you think?
I think his back leg here. Watch this from Kent. There. I think he's clipped before he gets the crossing. Ange got his arms up. I don't know whether they can have a look at that. We got a VAR today.
Yep.
But it certainly looked as if Abada's back leg was clipped there by
Just
Kent.
when he's about to strike it, Ryan Kent's obviously, as he's lifted his back leg, Ryan Kent's just at the back of him.
Just looking at Abada's finish again.
He's got to be stronger.
Stronger hand.
Got to be stronger, goalkeeper.
Well, Celtic at the minute, they're enjoying most of the possession. Rangers just trying to close down in numbers and trying to stop Celtic from just having that, getting the real good feel of the ball and getting loads and loads of passes in. Rangers know, as Barry's alluded to, if you don't get tight to them and stop that, stop Celtic in possession, they can destroy you with the players they've got and the way they pass the ball.
John Lundstrom is getting treatment. It has been, Barry, for about 90 seconds.
Yeah, that will be a concern. Rangers need a player of his quality, and his physical presence doesn't look too good, to be fair.
No. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, the cameras go on to him.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy, and he's got every reason to be unhappy. I think Celtic they have more energy about them. But again, I'll go back to the goal. There's a couple of phases within that goal that Celtic score that he'll be absolute fuming with.
And they don't waste any seconds, do they? The ball, boys, ball, girls
no, but
are told.
That's, you know that. Yeah. You know that. That's the way Celtic. If you watch football and you watch Celtic play, as soon as it goes out for a throw-in, the throw-in's took within a second or two. Really quick. And they want to catch teams off guard, and that's what they've done with Rangers at the goal.
Lundstrom coming back on.
Yeah, it's
that's good news for Rangers. John, do you think that was a penalty shout there?
I do. I do. I think as Abada's about to kick the ball, he brings his foot back, and it's Ryan Kent who clips his back foot, which means Abada can't get good contact on the ball. I think be interesting to see what the boys say in the studio half time. And I don't know why. Do we have VAR today?
No.
Right,
no,
okay.
I think it's there, but it's not being used, isn't it? They're trialling it at the moment. But we'll have it on Monday on the show. Gar.
Well, that was one of the. That was
I'll need to watch the challenge at least 20 times.
That was an ideal situation here where you needed VAR with the referee not quite sure, and then he can go and pass it on to the VAR people.
No. Listen, who'd be a referee when you see it? The first time I didn't think it looked it. When you see it back, he has connected just before. Abada might have got something away, but it's 1-0 to Celtic. 17 minutes gone. And we got some stats up there about who scores first. They love that these days, but it's gone off the screen as Celtic come forward again. There's Lundstrom defending against O'Reilly, but O'Reilly wins. He's 25 yards out. He goes for a shot, and it's going to be a corner kick to Celtic.
He has a shot, and it's a good block by Rangers, but I think Jota's screaming at him just if he can just go one more to
again,
the left.
look, this is them.
It's
Corner
awful.
kick,
Yep.
taken quickly again.
Jota floats it into the box. It's headed away. It falls to Callum McGregor. Touches it to
Need to be
Leila
aware
Bada.
of this. They've got to be aware of it.
Here's Abada. Tavernier is with him, but he's placed
It's
it
not
in.
something new, Paul.
No, I know. Yep.
It's the way Celtic play.
Yep.
As soon as it goes out for a throw in or a corner kick, they try and, as I said, catch teams off guard. And they've done this a number of times with Rangers.
Beginning to get a rhythm. Celtic to play it into the box. For
What a chance.
Giakoumakis.
Oh, what a chance.
What a chance. He just couldn't get his head to
He's
it.
up a bit early, I think, Paul. We just see it again. It's brilliant play in the corner from Celtic. It's Abada into O'Reilly and then back to O'Reilly. He puts it in the middle of the 6-yard box.
great ball.
And he's got to score. He's up. It's a fantastic chance.
Does Golson do well there?
I just think Giakoumakis.
Yeah, he's got to
he's
connect
already
with
up, Baz. He's already up. And Ange with his hands in his head there. And for a player like Giakoumakis, who's normally deadly in them situations, that's a big chance for him.
Yeah, we're going to have VAR immediately after the World Cup. They're testing it behind the scenes to get the referees used to it and all the rest. But, no VAR at the moment. That was a let-off, wasn't it, for Celtic? Did Goldson do well?
Yeah, I don't know if he's given him a slight nudge in the back. But again, when I watched it back, I think Giakoumakis, John, that was his. You loved these sort of balls coming into the box. You fully expect him to at least get a decent enough connection to make the goalkeeper work.
A big chance.
Here's Rangers up over the halfway line. They're a goal down. Rangers coming forward. The ball played through, trying to find Cholak, but it's not fully cleared yet. Here's James Tavernier trying to rally his troops. Plays it to Tillman, edge of the box,
Does
gets
well
a
as
shot
well.
away, doesn't
Does well.
he? Yeah,
He turns really well.
He's a big lad, isn't he? It's going to
be a
be a
yellow.
free kick against Barisic. Yeah, and is there any need for it? So he's given away a free kick. He's taken a yellow, Barry, but it's not in such a dangerous area.
Yeah,
or is it? Maybe.
I don't know if it's a yellow at this stage in the game. There's 2 Rangers players round about. He's just stopped. It's good game management for me, but the referee's decided to book him. And now, if you're a Celtic player, you're firing the ball to a bad every single time.
Of course, yeah. Who is on fire, scored a hat-trick last weekend along with Kyogo up at Dundee United. Kyogo has gone off, injured, shoulder injury, but Rangers coming forward down the left. John Lindstrom looks up, plays it in, looking for Cholak. It's cleared by Greg Taylor, but it's still with Rangers. Barisic, James Sands. Someone's gone down. The ball is going to be.
There's not an awful lot of difference in Lindstrom and Barisic.
That's what people, or managers or players say.
Back there.
Consistency.
Sure. But John, were you surprised at the booking there?
Barisic, I was a little bit because Celtic are in their own defensive third.
Agree.
It's not as if they're on the attack and Barisic is last man and he's a bit cynical. Yeah, it was, but the problem is the referee gives himself a problem now. Of course. He starts booking players early in the game, then obviously you may well see a couple of sending offs or whatever.
There's the electronic screen telling everyone to tune in every night between 5 and 7, although we'll be on 6 till 8 on Tuesday before Celtic Real Madrid, and then Wednesday Ajax Rangers. We're on 4 till 6. Barry Ferguson on Wednesday with Mark Guidi and Big John Hartson on Tuesday. Here we are, Celtic 1, Rangers 0, 21 minutes gone. Carter Vickers heads it away, falls for Glenn Kamara, but he's beaten by Matt O'Reilly. O'Reilly sweeps it out to the left. Jota, they've got space.
Don't let him come into the box. Stop him coming into the box.
Goldson's he's in the box, plays it into Giakoumakis, but it's cleared away. And Rangers, so the attack has broken down for Celtic. That was danger for you, Barry. As here's Ryan Kent, classic Ryan Kent, gets past Callum McGregor, gets past Rio Hatate, still on the ball. He goes back round, he has to. It's still him. He's gone 30, 40, 50 yards, plays it out to the left to Glenn Kamara. Better play, Barry?
Yeah, good for Ryan Kent. That's what I always expect from him, Paul. Really good there, good drive and run. And what Ryan Kent does for Rangers, he gets him up the pitch. He brings him up the pitch and gains possession, which is important for Rangers because they're under the cosh a bit.
As the ball comes into the box, chance for Rangers. Good ball into the box.
He knows himself. Great ball for Barisic. Kamara does really well here, holds it and then plays it, and Barisic, great ball. He's got to hit the target at least there.
The head of Cholak, and it goes
similar to Giakoumakis.
way past the post.
That's a chance.
Oh, it's gone miles past as well.
It's a chance.
Should have done
Golden
better.
Golden opportunity.
It was a brilliant ball in from Barisic. It's whipped in right in Cholak's area, and again he doesn't get full contact on the ball. Sort of skims off his head really, but he'd be disappointed with that himself.
He knows himself, John.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
You can see he's disappointed.
John, what as a striker, what did he just not get to it properly?
just think he might be just maybe took his eye off the ball slightly. Maybe thought it was a real good chance and failed to just make real good contact with the ball. But it's a big chance. Similar Giacomakis earlier.
Yep.
And Cholak could have brought Rangers back into the game there.
That's Rangers' best chance so far. Here's Leal Abada, sweeps it out to the left for Jota. Jota, what a touch by Jota. But Connor Goldson gets it. You were admiring his touch there, Barry?
Yeah,
Jota.
It
was almost
10 out of 10
yeah.
for his touch.
Good game as we are midway through the first half.
But that's got to give Rangers a bit of confidence. Got to. They've created a real good opportunity, and you don't get many genuinely at Celtic Park, as I said. But that's what I expect for Barisic. Defensively, sometimes he's suspect, Paul, but when he gets in that final third, he can deliver a brilliant ball.
And is that a brilliant ball out to the right to
Matt
Leal Abada?
O'Reilly, Matt O'Reilly was able to turn in the middle of the park. You shouldn't have that type of time to play in Abada.
Here's
Who
Abada.
crosses it in. Oh, it's a good.
Looking for Jota. It falls. Is that O'Reilly tried to
Tavernier
get
did
onto
really
it?
well on the back post there against Jota.
Here's a Tati, 30 yards out forward to O'Reilly. It's going to be a free kick. John, what do you think people are thinking watching this, listening all over the world about the pace?
It's been a great start from Celtic. Rangers have responded quite well. Celtic possibly could have got a penalty. Kent on Abada. That might prove to be a big talking point at half time. But Rangers, as I said, they bounced back. Cholak could have gotten back in it. But I still think Celtic look very confident on the ball. They're still spraying the ball about. Their movement, they're getting crosses in the box. Rangers still have to try and stop Celtic sort of passing the ball as comfortable as they are around the park.
Barry, Celtic doing what you expected them to do.
Yeah, I was worried, Paul, up until that chance that Rangers created with a great ball in for Barisic and Cholak. I think if you ask Cholak himself, he'll be really disappointed that he didn't at least make the goalkeeper work. But this is what Rangers need to do a wee bit. Take a sting out of the game. What they're doing here, they're keeping the ball at the back, and Sands has just sprayed a great ball out to Tavernier. And this man on the ball is important. His experience in the middle of the pitch just to calm things down, because Celtic have been in top, there's no doubt about that.
Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Paul Cooney with Old Firm legends John Hartson and Barry Ferguson. Rangers now coming forward, 25 minutes
Good
gone.
bit of possession with Rangers here. This is what they need to do.
Played out to the right. You're happier, Barry, at the way
this is what they do. They've got good footballers here. Just keep the ball. Listen, even if it's just side to side, you're making Celtic work.
Lundstrom out to the left.
And then you could create a chance here.
The Barisic to Kamara. Kamara
he does
well. He tries to get round Juranovic, plays it back to Lundstrom, 25 yards out. Infield to Ryan Kent. Kent out to the left to Barisic. Sweeps it in into the box.
It's a great ball. And about a minute or so there, Rangers kept possession. That's what you want to quieten Celtic as a team down and the stadium down a bit, and then they create a chance again with Barisic putting a ball into the box.
Stephen Davis did.
And you need to make Celtic defend, Paul. Yeah. You've got to make them defend.
So it's Rangers having a decent spell. They're a goal down at the moment. John, Rangers on the ball. Stephen Davis did well a moment ago because Jota could have been away.
He did, yeah. He just thought maybe Jota might have done Stephen Davis with his pace, but Davis got his body in the right way, which is in the right place, which is great experience from Stephen Davis. It's on the right hand side now with Tavernier. Tavernier looking to put a cross in, plays into Tillman. And Celtic break again. Juranovic with the ball into Goldson's got it now. Giacomakis couldn't quite get to the end of that pass from Juranovic.
Rangers looking more solid, aren't they?
Yeah, this is what they wanted. Keep the ball, make Celtic work across. Celtic had an opportunity there in terms of had possession, but they gave it straight away, which is playing into Rangers' hands just now. Just a bit of calm at this moment in time. This is what's needed.
Has anything changed tactically? Because obviously the Rangers are seeing much more of the ball. They look more composed as Sands plays it forward to Lundstrom. Lundstrom, good ball, looking for Malik Tillman, the man 20 years old on loan from Bayern Munich. But the Celtic in possession. Leal Abada to McGregor to Juranovic to Carter Vickers, just up over the halfway line to Hatate, plays it back out to the right. Juranovic plays it in for Giakoumakis, who sort of has a go at it, John, but it's well past.
Juranovic, it was pretty optimistic, to be honest. Juranovic tries to pick out Giakoumakis on the edge of the box, and it's a little bit optimistic.
Surprised he didn't take the ball, John, and drive into the space.
Either that, Barry, or just control it and wait for a bit of support. Just play like a centre forward, hold the ball up.
Did you think Juranovic should have taken...
I think he played into Rangers' hands there, where he's went for the early cross. I mean, he had space to drive into, because obviously he had ran past Ryan Kent at that stage.
Is that a cross that might have been better for Kyogo? Just with his, maybe not. 1-0 Celtic. I can tell by Barry's face. Paul, patch that one. Move on.
Kamara's having a good game. Kamara seems to be the one bursting forward for Rangers, and he always uses the ball very well. Make sure when he passes it, strike there from Lundstrom with his left foot over the bar.
Yeah, well over, but worth having a go, Barry, as that there's no time to wait.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed that he never at least hit the target and made Joe work there, but again, this is where you've got to be careful with Celtic.
Better play.
They take a quick goal kick and they spring onto the attack.
They're now just outside the box. Matt O'Reilly plays it to Hatate, doesn't get any time. Tillman's back defending. It falls to Greg Taylor, but too much on that cross, and Celtic not firing the way they were, John, the first 20 minutes.
I just think they've rushed a few things, Celtic. I think once or twice Greg Taylor's on the ball there. Jota's to his left. Just play Jota. Give it to a player that can influence going forward and getting a decent crossing, instead of just trying to pick that Glenn Hoddle type of pass through the eye of a needle, that brilliant pass every time. I just think once or twice Celtic can be a little bit wasteful with their passing when they're in good possession, Paul.
Rangers were wasteful there, and it's Celtic back in possession, 35 yards out. Jota, the Portuguese star, plays it to Carl Starfelt along the back four to Cameron Carter-Vickers, the USA star, as he plays it forward to Callum McGregor to Matt O'Reilly, who looks up at their options. Rangers closing them down well at the moment, and the ball played all the way back to Carter-Vickers. Joe Hart's well off his line.
Yeah, that's what he likes to
do,
Joe,
as Carter-Vickers plays it back to him. He's 27 yards out. He looks up.
Celtic just got to keep passing the ball. There's no urgency to go, no need to go and try and score a goal every time you get it. Just work your way up the pitch like Celtic normally do. I know Rangers are closing down very well, but I think Ange would want Celtic just to pass the ball, play their football,
They're still knocking it about the back four. It's back to Joe Hart. There's nobody showing. Just boot it up the park, and he does very badly. It goes almost out of play. I don't understand that, Barry. I don't know. He ends up playing the ball up to the halfway line, but it's a poor one.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of Joe's strongest points, if I'm being honest with you. Look, a fantastic shot stopper and a physical presence in goal, but in terms of on the ball, it's not Joe's strength there. And look, if I'm Rangers, I'm going to put him under pressure.
Throw in to Rangers just below the cameras there, the main stand. There's 60,000 this afternoon. It was a 12:30 kickoff. We're here on the Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors, John Hartson, Barry Ferguson, Paul Cooney. The ball's up over the halfway line, but that's Starfelt's made a mess. It's a long range shots way past, but Celtic, that's kamikaze defending, John.
I don't know what Starfelt's doing there. There's nobody near him within 20 yards.
Do you know what that, John, is? That's no awareness whatsoever.
You can't say he's had a shout, because you can't yourself think out there sometimes in these type of games. He's got to know what's around him, Starfelt.
Everyone wants to believe he's the real deal. Davy Provan said it on this station all last season. No harm to the boy. He said he's not good enough at this level. And then people say, well, look, they've only lost one goal so far in the league here or whatever. It'll be a huge test in Europe. And everyone wants him to do well in Europe. We want Celtic Rangers to excel in the Champions League.
Again, look, there's a quick free kick. I keep talking about it. You've got to...
Here's a chance. It's Jota into the box. Has the flag gone up? It's in the back of the net. It's 2-0.
What
Celtic
an unbelievable finish.
Listen, it is a brilliant finish, but where's he ran from? You've got to match your runners.
John?
Jota. Well, I'm waiting to see, but the touch. I know what Barry's saying. He's got all the space and time in the world, but what a touch and an incredible finish. Just dinks it over John McLaughlin. What a goal from Jota.
It starts, John. What happens with Celtic? There's a free kick. Look, you know what Celtic are going to do. People turning their back. They're on the counter-attack now. Yeah, he's onside.
Yep.
He's onside.
Played through to Jota. First touch, not brilliant.
He's
Second
onside.
one,
That's his experience.
perfection, wasn't it?
It's the touch that makes that.
Yep. And he is onside.
Yep.
Did Rangers maybe think it was going to? Would they be
You can
hoping it was?
think,
But no,
Paul,
sure. Yep.
You've got to
Sure.
play, even if he's a yard or two offside.
Yep.
You've got
But
to
the
still
force-
go.
Sure.
Barry can talk about the defensive side
Yeah.
of things and Rangers being a bit naive defensively, but Matt O'Reilly there, what a pass, and the touch from Jota, and then the finish, touch with your left foot, dink over the goalkeeper with your right foot.
John, see in terms of like, even if you believe when Matt O'Reilly's playing that ball, you think he's offside, you've still got to go with him.
Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to play offside?
I'll need to watch it again. I'm not sure. I think he goes in the blind side of Connor Golson here. I'll need to watch it again because he goes in between Tavernier and Golson. But then that's where communication comes
It's like
in.
a communication, and that's off the training ground. Matt O'Reilly gets it. In training, they do that all the time. Jota runs across the line, darts in behind, beats the offside trap, and then his general ability makes him the goal because it's the touch and the finish, which is outstanding.
But listen, I'm sick of saying it.
Yep.
If you watch
That's another
Celtic,
silly foul.
Yep.
Silly foul. Give Celtic the ball in their own half.
If you watch Celtic,
Tillman booked.
whether it's a goal kick, whether it's a throw in, whether it's a free kick or a corner kick, they look to play really quickly.
Yep. You can't take your eyes off.
No,
it.
you've got to face the ball. You can't turn your back or somebody go and stand on the ball and stop them if you're having a quick free kick, John, or even take a booking.
Yeah, be a bit more clever.
Yep.
John,
Naive.
The Celtic fans will be loving this because they've been good, maybe not brilliant, but my goodness, 2 up after 34
And
minutes.
considering you lost him, you
Yep,
lost
Kyogo.
Kyogo at the very within 2 minutes of the game, which was a little bit of a blow. But Giakoumakis has come on, he's put himself about. But you know the Celtic passing and the goals. Yeah, maybe Barry's saying they could have been stopped, but you know what? You still have to go and perform in these games, and it's been a great first half an hour for Celtic. It's 3 points for them now. It's Celtic's 3 points to lose now.
Yeah.
I'm not taking away from the fact, look, brilliant first touch for Jota, great run, great ball from O'Reilly. But John, see when the free kick happens, go and stand in front of it.
Standing and ball.
Play the game.
Yeah.
An O'Reilly assist. Jota gets the second. The first one, O'Reilly assist. Leal Abada.
Manage the game. It's about game management, Paul. And sometimes you need to take a booking if you go and stand in front of the ball and stop Celtic from having a quick free kick. So be it. Take the booking.
But Rangers went all the way to a European final 3 months ago. And as you said a
Naive.
while ago, it is naive for top
This could
players.
be more.
Yeah,
This could be more if Rangers don't get a grip of the game,
Right.
get a grip of what they're doing. It's what Barry's saying. Don't let Celtic take quick free kicks. They're getting bullied. Rangers team at the minute, 2 of them, Tillman and Barisic, both on a booking, by the way.
Yep.
You can just see he's on Goldson's shoulder there. I think Goldson doesn't expect Jota to get in. I think he thinks there's maybe too much on the pass.
35 minutes gone. In the East End of Glasgow, Celtic leading Rangers by 2 goals to
No, I
nil
don't
in the
like
biggest
see when
derby in
teams
the
are going
world.
forward, and the fact is when they play the ball through and they put their hand up, hey, let the linesman make a decision.
Of course, yeah.
You go and defend.
Match stats: Celtic 7 shots on goal, Rangers 4. On target 2 for Celtic. Touches in the opposition box 10 for Celtic, 5 for Rangers. Possession is actually 51-49 in favour of Rangers. But goals that count, as they say. Here comes Ryan Kent for Rangers, 30 yards out, slides it through, looking in hope to Cholak, but it landed at Starfelt, who it's a sclaff. It's a poor clearance from Starfelt.
Yeah, poor clearance.
John, there's questions about, you thought maybe it would be Maurice Jens coming in, and we don't want to be unfair to an individual player.
Well,
but
Maurice
everyone's
Jens
up for-
hadn't done a lot wrong, but Ange partnered these 2 last season and they did very well, obviously winning the title, conceded the least amount of goals in the Scottish Premiership. So he believes in these 2 as a partnership. And he's brought in Starfelt again alongside Carter Vickers.
Barisic sweeps it into the box.
Who
looking
is the
for Cholak, but it's out.
stronger partner of the 2 defensively.
CCV.
But whether or not he brings Maurice Jens back in, but you can clearly see why he's done it, because he wants to partner these 2 guys again. Starfelt coming back from injury, But there is a case for Maurice Jens to be back thinking, why have I been dropped?
It's corner for Rangers. James Tavernier, far
This is
side.
where Rangers could cause Celtic problems.
Golden's up
Need
there,
to be
of course.
really physical.
Whips it into the box. Header from, is it Goldson, just over the top,
Cholak
not too
again.
far away, and it's Cholak.
I think he's up, I think he's up
Let's see
above
it
the
close
ball.
up, yeah.
Look, he's
Here it
up
comes.
above the ball. He's up against Starfelt there, and it just
Comes
runs.
off his face
I think he
almost.
runs under the ball a little bit.
Barry, how did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a glaring chance, but it's an opportunity. Again, I'll go back to at least hit the target.
Here comes Celtic. It's Hatate plays it forward. Good run there. Greg Taylor plays it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly, he's got Abada who plays it in first time, but it's cleared by Rangers. And it's Rangers now in possession. The ball out to the right to Tillman. Sorry, Barry, I jumped in there.
No, it's fine. Barisic has whipped in 3 great balls, Paul. Real
Yes,
dangerous balls. And Celtic have looked a little bit suspect, as I said. Listen, I'll praise them. Going forward, they're excellent at times, but defensively, I still think they're suspect with balls coming into the box. And Rangers have got to test them. They've got to test them more. Barisic, as I said, 3 great balls. Tavernier needs to start producing a few balls for the wide areas and make Celtic defend. Make them work.
It's a throw in for Rangers at 12 yards out. Whipped in again from Barisic, looking for
Again, it's another great
Tillman.
ball.
It is, isn't it? He's
See,
whipping him in.
Tillman there. I like Tillman. I think he's
Goal
been
kick.
really. But he's got to do there what Abada does on the other side. You've got to get inside your fullback. You've got to get inside that back post. If he'd just been a little bit sharper and anticipated, he'd have had a free opportunity on goal there. And instead, he's waiting, and in the end, it comes to nothing. But Abada does it brilliantly down the other side for Celtic.
Get closer to him, Barisic has got to get closer
Celtic
there.
coming forward again. They play the ball into Giakoumakis. He plays it in, but there's nobody there to connect. Matt O'Reilly just
Again, you've got to
a
get out
foot
and
away.
force Abada in the ball. I think it's Hatate. It plays it Abada. Look, he's got 5-6 yards here to go and pick the pass. I know he plays it a bit too wide for Giakoumakis, but go and get
As
close to him.
wingers, just going back to as wingers, you're watching the play build up. You've got a lot of time to think, anticipate. Right, that ball might just bounce inside there, inside the back post. Tillman's standing there doing nothing. There's a big opportunity there for me. You've just got to anticipate better.
Gamble at times as
Gamble
well.
is the word. Yeah.
Well, 6 minutes to go until half time. Celtic are 2 up in the derby. Rangers fans would hate to see it 3 by half time. John Hartson suggested Celtic are on it at the moment. For Barry, he wants Rangers to get the composure and don't switch off. But it's Celtic coming forward. Jota,
you
25 yards out. Jota into the box. Will he have a shot? Will he pass it? Saved by John
Saved by
McLaughlin.
John McLaughlin there. Again, when Jota, you allow him to come into the box, he's got great quick
lethal.
feet. Yep.
Yep.
Strikes it well, but John McLaughlin stands firm.
Still Celtic down the left. The ball is going to be whipped in. Who's there? Jota cleverly for Abada. It's a goal for Celtic.
Three to Celtic.
Leo Abada. Jota was really, really clever. The ball played in from the left and he just left it. He touched it there to Leo Abada. 40 minutes gone. A double for Abada. Jota got the other one. Celtic are 3 up. John Hartson.
It's Abada again. Again, it's good play from Celtic. Earlier on, it was Jota had the shot. John McLaughlin saved it with his feet. They come again. The ball's played across the box, and it's that man. Hat-trick last week. 2 goals. Celtic again. What Barry's saying. Take a quick free kick. They play it. Jota into Matt O'Reilly. Fizzes it across the box. Abada hits it first time. Too low for John McLaughlin. It's 3-0 with 40 minutes on the clock.
When you going to learn your lesson? First goal, switch off for a quick throw in. Second goal, switch off for a quick free kick. Third goal, switch off for a throw in.
It's almost a
But
replay.
see the experienced guys or the captain or whoever on the pitch, you've got to tell them.
Incredible.
Gio will be fuming. You can't coach that. You've just got to make sure you're concentrated. If it happens once, don't let it happen a second time or a third time.
It's a really good strike from Abada again. It's really low.
It's hard
down.
for the goalkeeper.
It's actually
there, John,
gone under John McLaughlin's through John McLaughlin's legs, but it's the contact with the ball. And to be fair to Abada, he gets in there. He's like a forward threat when the ball's on the other side.
Yep.
His numbers are I think he was 17 goals from out wide there last season for Abada.
We'll update
for
the
his
top
age.
scorers for the season shortly, Chris, won't we?
20 years of age.
Yep. Phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he had a great start to the season last year. Then he tailed off, but you expect that, Johnny. 19 years of age, you're going to have wee dips in form, but he looks to me if he's come back stronger this year. He does. He looks stronger. And obviously,
and he's competing
been here
as
a
well.
year.
He's competing with Maeda as well. Maeda's in there. Maeda's again been on the bench, and I wouldn't say it's left out because Maeda can come on and do that as well. What Abada does, and Celtic are lucky at the minute. You know, Kyogo goes off, Giakoumakis comes
injured.
on. It's a situation that Celtic want to be in.
Rangers trying to press Celtic. It's been knocked about the back four. Starfelt to Vickers. Back to... In fact, it's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Rangers. Will they take it quickly? 3 minutes to go to half-time. It would change the complexion if Rangers can pull one back. 3-0 at half-time is, well, almost disastrous for Rangers. Given what happened in February. Let's see what's happening. But the ball's played all the way back into the Rangers half there. Stephen Davis on the ball, plays it out to the right to Connor Goldson. Jota immediately tries to chase him down.
You can't switch off, Paul.
No.
You can't switch off
And they've
against
done
a
it 3
good team.
times.
You can't. It's impossible to do it. If you switch off, they're going to hurt you.
Yep.
And that's what Celtic have done. Well, I think Celtic have had four attempts on goal.
Giakoumakis
3 goals.
Scored 3.
Yeah, Giakoumakis maybe could have done better with a header. He'll want to get himself on the score sheet. And as I said 5 minutes ago, Paul, if Rangers don't do the right thing, you know, in terms of being not so naive, getting bodies over the ball when Celtic want to play a quick free kick. This could be worse.
You
could be
sensed
4
it,
or
John.
5.
That was a lovely touch there by Ryan Kent. Gets the ball back. It was a lovely shuffle from him. Is he going to win a free kick? Nick Walsh has pulled it back. I think he allowed it to play on. He's pulled it back. Was good play by Ryan Kent. It's going to be a yellow card. Yellow card if they widen the picture here a bit on Sky. We'll tell you who.
Listen,
And it's CCV.
at times Rangers have kept possession pretty well. But again, Paul, you can't make the same mistake time after time.
Celtic just need to see this through. They don't want to concede a goal now with 2 minutes before half time. Give Rangers any optimism now. They want to see this through, get in at 3-0, regroup, and then come out for the set. The game is done. The game is over for me. Rangers need a miracle. But Celtic need to make sure they go in 3-0.
Here's the ball into the box, but it goes straight into the arms of the former England international Joe Hart, who will be happy almost just to run down the clock. Or will he? Because they change. The transition is so quick with Celtic. Joe Hart's taking his time.
He knows what's left here. A minute or
it's true, Barry.
Minutes.
1 goal for Rangers, then there's a possibility.
Yeah, you just see it out. You be professional, Paul, and you see it out. I'm just I can't believe in terms of the goals. It's real poor goals. Yeah, you can say great passes, great touches, great finishes from the Celtic guys, and yep, they were. But Rangers have got to stop it at source. You've got to be switched on, John. Like a couple of times, I'd need to go back and watch. Backs are turned. Face the ball.
Connor Goldson plays it to James Sands. There's 20 seconds gone to go. I don't think there'll be much, if anything, added. It's been non-stop. Although I was for the injury for Kyogo, there could be a minute or two. As it's Rangers now, getting up towards the halfway line. Connor Goldson out to the right to the captain James Tavernier. Tavernier forward to Kent. Kent just touches it back to Stephen Davis, who came in.
Can I just say about Tavernier? He doesn't look the normal Tavernier.
Come in from that right hand side, Barry,
but I think he's had an injury problem.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's affected him, because listen, I'm a huge admirer of Tavernier. I think he's been exceptional for Rangers, but he doesn't look the usual up and down constantly.
Not quite the same.
I don't know whether the injury that he's had, because there was talk, Paul, that he could have missed the game.
That was one of the lines yesterday. He's playing. Here's Barisic into the box. There's 2
Another
minutes
great
added on.
area. Great area.
It's Barisic again. Joe Hart punches it away. It falls to Lundstrom. Lundstrom goes first time, but it's easily collected by Joe Hart.
Balls
But
Barisic has played in. 4 real dangerous balls.
He's doing well for you, isn't he?
Defensively, he's got to get a bit closer. A minute or so ago, he was, as soon as Abada received the ball, he was right against him. That's what you've got to do against guys like Abada. Can't give him a yard or two space. But in terms of his delivery into the box, Paul, he's had 4 great deliveries.
John, for you, for Celtic, 3-0 at half time. The only fly in the ointment is the loss of Kyogo. But for you, what are you feeling?
I
60 seconds to go.
I think they've been excellent. I think they passed the ball well. I think they can, strangely enough, I think they can pass it better. They've took their opportunities. Jota's had one real chance, took it really well. Abada's first goal with his left foot gets across. I keep talking about it. Wingers, players from the opposite side, you have to come into the box when the ball's the other side. Abada's done that twice. Great finish for a third goal. Celtic are really comfortable, really. Joe Hart's not had a save to make. Rangers, they threaten from wide areas, but
they come forward.
But in
Ryan
general,
Kent.
Celtic will be delighted, Paul.
Kent plays it out to the left to Barisic. He whips it in right into the box. Chance again for Tillman's there. Cholak as well has a
great area
has
again.
a goal, but it's cleared.
If it just get a bit of luck there, if it falls to a Rangers player, it could be 3-1. That's what I'm saying. It'll give him a little bit of confidence, maybe going in at the break where they've been generally quite poor defensively.
That's the whistle.
His last 4 balls, Paul, have been whipped in. That one he just glided, just dinked in into another great area.
Rangers are looking for a miracle, looking for a bit of inspiration now, maybe a Morelos to come on possibly there. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has to try and change it now.
Do you want a cup of tea at half time?
I'd love one.
Barry, would you need a brandy?
No, a double whiskey, please.
Quick break and then we're back. It's 3-0 Celtic at half time.
Service your existing car with us right now.
And it's worth £500 off your next car.
Yes, at Macklin Motors Toyota, we'll give you a £500 voucher off any of our brand new Toyotas when you book in for a service with our expert Toyota trained technicians.
We even have complimentary courtesy cars available, so book your service now and get £500 off any new Toyota.
Visit macklinmotors.co.uk or see us at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Macklin Motors, the new name for Toyota sales and servicing in Glasgow.
Valid on services till 30th September. Excludes Motability and fleet customers. One £500 voucher per vehicle purchased by 31st December.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Find your nearest dealership at macklinmotors.com.
Let's go!
Old Firm Derby, the first of season 22-23. Half time. Celtic are leading by 3-0. Kyogo got injured in the first minute within about 50 seconds. He was unfortunate, had to go off 2 minutes later. As we see the highlights again, Barry and John are here. Barry, seen that first one again, the Abada goal in 8 minutes.
It goes out for it. Paul, I keep saying it, you know the way Celtic play. They take quick free kicks, throw-ins, corner kicks. When the ball goes out, Ryan Kent shouldn't be dribbling there. But watch a number of Rangers players, their backs are turned. Celtic take a quick free kick. It does take a slight deflection off Lundstrom, I think, into Abada's path. But if that happens once, don't allow it to happen a second time or a third time. And Rangers have allowed that with a quick free kick and the third goal, another quick throw in.
John, from a Celtic point of view, Abada is so full of confidence. It's unbelievable to think that he might not have been playing today. He could have been on the bench.
Yeah, and that's the luxury that Ange seems to have. James Forrest, don't forget Jamesy as well, signed a new 3-year contract. Can't get a look in at the minute. Maeda can play there, Jota can switch over to that right hand side. Hat-trick last week, already on 2. So who's to stop him getting another one today?
And the second goal, John, what do you make of it?
As a brilliant, and Barry will pick out the defence.
Look,
but it's quick thinking.
Lundstrom, Kamara, Kent. Kamara's facing it in the side, but you can't turn your back when you're playing against good quality players. Callum McGregor, clever, takes a quick free kick. Matt O'Reilly, let's be honest, it's a fantastic ball, but that should be stopped at source, Paul. Go and stand in front of the ball or face the ball and stop Callum from taking the quick free kick to start the move.
Rangers switching off.
Look, it's a great touch. Look, I'm not going to take it away from Jota. Brilliant touch and an even better finish. But he goes on the blind side of Connor Golson. Can Tavernier no speak to him?
John, from a Celtic point of view, what do you see there?
Well, he is on the blind side of Golson, but Golson needs to be side on. He needs to be looking what's behind him.
Prime example.
This is the third goal. Celtic all the time in the world. They're passing it and there's no pressure. Nobody's closing down. And then Matt O'Reilly plays it in. Who was that?
It was Greg Taylor.
Matt O'Reilly gets a little touch to it, which just guides it into Abada's path.
John, see that bit? See when Celtic are taking the throw in. Sprint out to them. It's like a jog
at this stage, but the Rangers are 2-0 down at this stage as well.
You see Barry's point, they're turning away from it. They're not rushing towards the ball with a sense of urgency, because Celtic don't waste a second. What about Abada again?
Brilliant, great finish, but he just hits the target, keeps his shot low, puts his foot through the ball, and there's so much pace on it. It goes through McLaughlin's legs. They're really difficult for the goalkeeper to save it, and it's 3-0. And if Rangers are not careful here, if Celtic have the same attitude and that same desire to go and score more goals, a couple of changes possibly to come on as well. Maeda still could come on. this could be quite embarrassing. It could be 4-5-6 if Celtic keep going, and if Rangers don't step up again.
We're back for the second half with Barry and John next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Visit their brand new Toyota showroom at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Let's go!
So what do the managers do at half time? We're going to look under the expert eyes of Barry Ferguson, and he's pretty much raging with the way Rangers switched off at times in the first half. And for John Hartson, what might Celtic do in the second half? They lost Kyogo early on. Giakoumakis is on. Barry, you noticed about the captain maybe not looking at his, and there was word that he might be injured early in the week. So what would you do? Changes?
Scott Arfield. I'd bring Scott Arfield on. You know what you're going to get for Scott Arfield. He will get in people's faces. He's an experienced player. He'll try and organise. But I think in terms of the Rangers manager, but inside the dressing room, he'll be fuming at the 3 goals. Because I honestly believe if you're switched on and you're facing play, or you play the game at times, Paul, and stop them from taking a quick throw in or a quick free kick, that'll be what you'll be most disappointed in. Don't take anything away from Celtic. Listen, I don't think Celtic have been amazing, if I'm being honest with you, but they have been better than Rangers and more ruthless than Rangers. And Rangers need to sort it out, because what you don't want to do is be going into the big Champions League games in the back of a thumping from your arch rivals.
Unbelievable first half. This is Gary's been on, and it's going to be some week. We never stop. Stephen is on. The Celtic fans are understandably, John. Would you agree with Barry that Celtic have played well, but not as well as they did, let's say, in February, but they're 3 up?
All I said earlier, I think Celtic have passed the ball well.
Yes.
But not absolutely magnificent like we know they can. That's partly down to Rangers early on in the game. First 20 minutes, I thought Rangers started the game quite well, but conceded a goal, which obviously sets you back a little bit. And then Celtic have just taken over. I think there's a little bit of naivety from Rangers in terms of letting Celtic take quick free kicks, not getting close from wide areas. The ball's come into the Rangers penalty area too easy. But Celtic they've been clinical, they haven't had that many opportunities, maybe 3 or 4, and they managed to score 3. Abada's been outstanding from the right, 2 good goals to his name. And, Celtic can afford to make a few changes looking at Tuesday night. You got the new signing, the 2.25 million 23-year-old left winger Haksabanovic. He could possibly come on in the second half. You've got Turnbull who'd like to get a piece of this today. Likes of Maeda, he might look to rest. Abada or Jota looking at Tuesday, which that'll take a lot out of the guys, the big European game. So Celtic have that luxury. They can change it around a little bit, but it's been a brilliant first half. 3-0 in the first derby of the season to go 5 points clear in the league, which doesn't necessarily, it just puts you in a good frame of mind. It's a nice lead to have after 6 games. And
are you worried in any way that Rangers could come back and get a point?
I'm not. The only way Rangers can come back if they make... I would put Morelos on now, because I think Morelos has a little point to prove. I think he'd be like a raging bull if he came on now. Celtic would have to deal with that. It needs to change, maybe even put 2 up there with Cholak, who's not done a lot wrong. He had a good chance with a header.
Let's put that to Barry. Barry, could you see Morelos coming on now?
Yeah, I could. I think you could change a number of players. I've been honest. It's just
Scott Wright's coming on. Sorry, Scott Wright is coming on. I've just got that here. Definitely.
Right. I'm surprised Scott Arfield maybe not coming on. I see where John's coming from. Morelos, he has got something to prove, because obviously the last couple of weeks have been tough on him, and I think that's what was needed. I think Gio showed strong management, that he's not going to accept somebody that's not fit enough for having a poor attitude. But look, Paul, in terms of possession, Rangers have been good. They've kept it at times. Barisic, as I said, has played in my count 5 really dangerous crosses. But I go back to it, I just think it's really naive from Rangers' point of view that the goals that they've lost, I think they are avoidable at source in terms of stopping Celtic. And sometimes, John will tell you, sometimes you need to take a booking for the sake of taking a booking. Sure. Go and stand in front of somebody and not allow them to take a quick throw in. Go and stand in front of Callum McGregor and force him to kick it off you and take a booking. That's what you need to do in these games at times.
Craig Moore's totally agreeing with you. I don't think he'll mind me saying here on the socials, he said, I'm not sure how Rangers are surprised by the tempo of Celtic.
You shouldn't be surprised.
And
We
he's saying-
all watch
yeah.
football, Paul. We
Yeah.
watch the way that Celtic play. They play at an unbelievable tempo. And I'm talking about when the ball goes out to play, you've got that multi-ball system at Celtic Park where the ball boys are throwing it as quickly as possible because they want to catch teams out. You have got to be aware of that. And you've got to deal with that. Now, it can go against you at a time. Once. Don't allow it a second time.
Yeah.
Don't allow it a third time.
And 3 times. John, for Celtic, then we talked about it. There's just loads of messages coming in. The Celtic fans are really, really happy. Some other headlines, it looks as though the £150 million 5-year deal with Sky is going through. All the clubs have to agree to it, all 12, but 60 games per season up from 48. Yearly payments rise from 25 million to 30 million, accompanied by 2 extra 10-game bundles. But all the Celtic fans are thinking now is what's going to happen in the next 45 minutes? Can they maintain the league? Can they add to it?
Yeah.
For Rangers fans, can they come back? They need a...
The onus is on Rangers now,
sure.
Paul. The onus is on Rangers to get the next goal. It's crucial that Rangers get the next goal if they have any aspirations of get anything out of the game. It's difficult to stop Celtic. They've got momentum. They've got confidence. They've got players where they can change it. And the worst nightmare now for Rangers is to go and get beat 4-5-6. That could quite easily happen, the way that Celtic have played in that first half. Rangers need the first goal, and for me, changes. You've got the likes of Wright, we feel.
So he's on, he's come
Barry
on.
mentioned Arfield, maybe Jack in terms of a bit of leadership in there. And of course, you've got Morelos, who would be wanting to go and prove a point and get Rangers back in the game somehow.
We're
today.
underway. Barry, it is Scott Wright and he's replacing Glenn Kamara.
Yeah, I thought actually Glenn was okay.
Me too.
I thought it may have been Tillman, but listen, Tillman's been playing more centrally. Most of the games he's played with Rangers, this is the position he's been in the second half. But listen, nothing should surprise you about Celtic now. You know what's going to happen. They're going to go for you. They're going to go for the throat. So Rangers need to be prepared for that.
Probably after about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, Ange is capable of bringing 4 on, taking 4 off. He tends to do that quite a lot. Complete fresh legs, And of course, you've got the big game Tuesday to think about.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? It's absolutely massive. We've got these 2 huge games, and we're going to be on live from the Radisson Red for our big Euro nights with Steen, one of Scotland's leading mechanical and electrical contractors. Can't take our eyes and ears off the game at all as Carter Vickers' uncharacteristic mistake fires the ball forward to John Lundstrom. Lundstrom, Rangers playing left to right as we look from where the cameras are, the main side. So it's Celtic 3 up at half-time. Ryan Kent for Rangers. To Connor Goldson, looks out to the right. Be James Tavernier, and it is as he looks up, plays it to Scott Wright, his first touch of the afternoon. Back to his skipper and back to Wright, who plays it to Stephen Davis, plays it back to Connor Goldson. Yeah, you know the teams: Rangers, McLaughlin, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic. Kamara, he's been replaced now by Scott Wright. Lundstrom, Davis and Tillman, Kent and Cholak for Celtic. Hart, Juranovic, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor. McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Abada, Jota. It was Kyogo, but he got it looks like a dislocated shoulder in the first minute. It's Giakoumakis who's on, and Giakoumakis for Celtic, it's a good ball through it's a ball from O'Reilly, but not enough on it. It's easily cleared by... Have you spotted anything, guys, in the first 90 seconds, 2 minutes of the second half? Any change to the...
No, I just think Rangers will want to impose themselves in the second half, not make it embarrassing, maybe try and get back in the game, but they've had a decent start. You got Cholak, Wright's just put Cholak through, but a lack of pace, he just played it in front of Cholak. But no, as I said, Rangers have to try and get a grip of the ball now, and of course they have to stop Celtic at the same time.
So if you want to be with us at the Radisson Red on Tuesday, Celtic Real Madrid or Rangers playing Ajax, then go to thisisgo.co.uk and register. You could be with us. You could see John with Mark Guidi on Tuesday afternoon, and then Barry in the afternoon, the earlier start. But Barry doesn't want to think about that at the moment because he's watching here as 3 minutes in, Celtic clear. Carl Starfelt up to the halfway line, but Rangers trying to make the press, trying to get on top of the game as John Lundstrom sweeps it out to the left to Borna Barisic. He feeds it 10 yards to Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent doing what he does down the left, plays it out to Malik Tillman. Tillman feigns dummies, plays it into the box. Chance there, but it's headed away. Decent chance there for Rangers, Barry.
Yeah, good play, good possession. Getting the wide area, and Tillman plays it into a dangerous area again. Just need somebody to gamble and go and be a bit more physical inside that box.
As
opportunity now for
Rangers
Scott
come
Wright.
forward. Scott Wright fires it into the box. It's clear it's going to be a throw in for Rangers. Just 10 yards out, John?
Yeah, it's been a positive 3 or 4 minutes for Rangers. They played it generally in Celtic's half. They need to get good balls into the box. Obviously, Scott Wright's come on now, a bit more firepower. Colak is still on. But hopefully you'll see Tavernier, from a Rangers point of view, more so involved in the game down that right-hand side, because we know about his delivery when he gets it right.
As here comes Lundstrom. Good tackle. He can go for a shot. Comes off Carter Vickers. Celtic a bit slack there, Barry, would you say?
I wouldn't say slack. I think Rangers are switched on there, because Joe tries to play a quick. He rolls the ball into Hatate, I think it is.
Here's the ball played towards Giakoumakis.
And Lundstrom's right on him. No backs are turned. You're prepared.
This is better from your point of view.
Yeah, it's better. But
the 3-0
down.
down.
Too late, Paul.
Sure.
Got to do that for the start.
Yeah. And why didn't
and
they?
I think the goals are avoidable, and I'll go back to it. You can stop it at source. Good finishes, no doubt, from Celtic's point of view. But you can't switch off when you play against a good team, Paul, because good players can hurt you.
John, I just looking there at the referee. He's not that much to do. I know there was a penalty claim in the first half, potentially. But is he doing all right for you?
Yeah,
Nick
he's
Walsh?
doing all right.
Yeah.
I think he's not really had any major decisions to make. I don't know. We missed it at half time, in terms of the penalty. We thought it may well have been a penalty. Didn't give that one. But no, I don't think other than that. I think the bookings... the bookings, one or two, maybe the Barisic one early on.
That was the early one.
Other than that, he's just let the game run. He's just let which is the best thing for.
It's good to see.
That's what the best referees do. Yeah.
Good game for the neutral.
I agree with John. Maybe a couple of harsh bookings, but in general, I think he's done. I think he's done a pretty good job. It's good to see it flowing, because what you don't want to see is stopped every 30 seconds when there's a bit of physical presence happening on the pitch.
Celtic trying to come forward. It goes back all the way to John McLaughlin, plays it out to the left. Yep, so you can register. Remember, we'll be on Tuesday and Wednesday with Steen, one of Scotland's leading mechanical and electrical contractors. Will be on fire. Then Celtic have been on fire in the first half. Double from Leila Bada and the other from Jota. As McLaughlin plays the ball out, looking for Tavernier. There's a tussle there. It falls to Hatate. The ball's just knocking about at the moment. It's going to be a throw-in with 6.5 minutes gone. Connor Golson's gone down. Don't know if it's much of a knock. Maybe just
got a stud on his heel, on his sort of instep.
Is that a sore one, John? From
can be, yeah. He just put his foot through Hatate's studs there, so that can be so. On your instep there, yeah.
Yep. Greg Taylor going to take the throw-in for Celtic. From a Celtic point of view, I mean, stating the obvious, they'd love to make it 4 just now. For Rangers, 4 would be unthinkable at this time. With 51 minutes gone, it's played all the way back. Celtic, the pace has just dropped a wee bit. John, would that be fair?
Well, yeah, listen, naturally, I just think Celtic will want to, first and foremost, win the game. They're in a great position right now. They don't really have to do anything. They can just almost say, well, Rangers, you have to come at us. You're 3 goals behind. But I think Celtic will look to maybe play on the counter-attack.
And that's their strong point, obviously, isn't it? As they come forward. Ball played out to the right, looking for Leila Bada. Barisic has covered it. It's going to be a throw-in to Celtic. Look at the way the ball boy has another ball, multi-ball.
Look what they've done.
Here they
Took
come.
a quick throw-in, but they're facing play.
And it's broken.
Because when you turn your back, Paul,
you don't know what's going on.
You don't.
Yep. As the ball, and Tillman's gone down there. We'll see it again as Colak. He's in a 1-on-1 with Carter Vickers. Vickers has got support with him now.
No support.
Greg
Colak.
Taylor. It's Colak. Colak tries to get round them. Is that going to be
no support though? He held it up for a couple of seconds.
It's cleared by Celtic.
Nobody was rushing up to get alongside Colak.
Jota, good play there, plays it back to Carter Vickers. He just chips it forward to Greg Taylor. Celtic looking composed at this moment. Jota looks up, switches the play out to the left to Reo Hatate, who played so brilliantly against Rangers in this fixture last year in the February one. He's gone down or someone else has gone down, but it's going to be Nick Walsh saying, yeah, Jota is down. He'll probably be back up in a moment or two.
It's a head knock.
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah.
It's not a foul.
Sure. He'll be fine as well, won't he? Yep. Dr. Ferguson, nothing to see there.
No, it's just a coming together here. You'll see it.
Yep. Aye.
No, it's actually Goldson's arm he's caught. I think you watch it again. Jota's just Goldson's running back, and I think he's just ran into Goldson's arm.
There's nothing in it, though, John.
No. He's holding his head. Just
nothing to see here.
There.
I think because it's a head knock, they've got to stop it, Paul.
Yeah.
I think that's protocol. And we'll just carry on with the game.
We'll give you the leading scorers of the season so far. I've got the wrong sheet. Chris, I've got the old one. Shouldn't have paper anyway, should we? It's all online. Kyogo's been started today as the top scorer in Scotland.
Starfelt, it looks if he's got a
hat trick. Yeah.
Moritz Jens there, just seeing Jens warming up. I think you might see a change here. Starfelt for Jens, Moritz Jens.
And everyone looking to Tuesday, of course, for Real Madrid coming to town, the champions of Europe against the champions of Scotland.
That'll be already almost now. First thing that they'll think about after the game is now get our heads on. Enjoy the victory, of course, but get our heads on it now for Tuesday night, which will be another fantastic test. What a great challenge. The champions of Europe coming to Celtic Park.
And then Rangers 24 hours later in Amsterdam. But we'll talk about that later in the programme. Yet Kyogo 6 goals, Miofsky on 5, Cholak on 4. These are league goals. Van Veen on 4. Abada, he got a hat trick last week and 2 today. So he's in 6 goals then, isn't he? We'll update it. Yeah, so he goes up there at the top with Kyogo. And Jota now on 4 goals. So Kyogo and Lil Abada. We're just seeing blood there on the
scratch on his tongue.
It's a scratch. Dr. Ferguson. There was nothing in it, but he had gone down.
He's all right.
It's the Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. That's Barry Ferguson and John Hartson, Paul Cooney as Ryan. Kent up over the halfway line for Rangers, 56 minutes. Kent holds up, edge of the box. Who's with him? Barisic. Can he plays it in? Comes off Juranovic. Juranovic is there with Barisic. It's the Croatian versus the Croatian, and it's Josip who gets the better of it as Celtic come forward. But Stephen Davis there makes a tackle. He's taken one for the team, has he?
You've got to do that at times, Paul.
Sure. Yeah.
Celtic are on the attack. Devils get close to him. He doesn't think he's going to get the ball. You've got to take a foul. It's a professional foul. It's not a booking or nothing. But that's experience for you at times. Yeah.
John, what are you thinking then? 56 minutes gone.
Starfeld's gone off. He's just sort of feeling his knee. They've not took any chances with him. Moritz Jens, who's done nothing wrong for me, by the way, alongside Carter Vickers. He's looked very good. He's come on, so we'll get the best part now of half an hour or so, just alongside Carter Vickers.
Barry, if you like the look of Maurice Jens, what you've seen of him, but here come Rangers coming forward, out to the left. Lundstrom up supporting, just at a walking pace at the moment. He finds Ryan Kent. Kent's got Davis with him. That's where he plays it. What's the options? It's Connor Goldson. Midway inside the Celtic half, back towards, he's forced back, looks up. Any options for him? He's played Sands to Stephen Davis, 37 years old, the most capped player on these islands and the UK, but he loses out to Hatate. Good tackle. That's what Barry's saying there.
Yeah, in terms of Jens, you can see there's a player in there. It's going to take him a bit of time to adjust, because listen, you know what it's like up Scottish football. It's physical. You can see he can handle the ball, Paul, and he gives him that bit of balance. John, would you know saying that?
Yeah, he does, and he's another option, isn't he? Mm-hmm. You know, he's another option to have alongside Starfelt, but you can clearly see Ange is trying to partner up Starfelt.
John, don't look away. Here come Celtic again, but it's cleared there by Rangers only as far as Callum McGregor. McGregor bursts into the box, gets round 2 players. Still Celtic. He tries to get the ball to Giakoumakis, the Greek striker, but the ball is played away only as far as Carter Vickers to Juranovic. Juranovic out to the right to Jota. He looks up, plays it. O'Reilly, in fact, plays it into the box, but it's easily taken by John McLaughlin. The pace has dropped, but Rangers now coming up over the halfway line. James Tavernier, the captain, he captained them to the title 2 seasons ago. And McGregor, who's on the ball now, captained Celtic to the title 3 months ago. And he plays it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly, who's out on the right? It's Abada almost inevitably. Probably man of the match so far. He plays it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes for the shot, comes off Connor Goldson, still with O'Reilly. Who's he got? He's got Abada, who tracks
He's
back.
a very gifted footballer.
O'Reilly.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's that left foot. I don't know what John thinks. I think left footers always look.
They do actually.
Yeah.
He's a good footballer.
Yeah,
O'Reilly.
to be honest with you,
How did they find him?
yeah, I know.
Swansea had a look
Yeah.
at him. He was at
Yeah.
Milton Keynes, wasn't he?
It's
So they
amazing.
got him from Milton Keynes.
1.8 million or something. Wait a minute, here they come
Great
again.
signing.
Juranovic, Celtic 3 up, plays it into the box. Doesn't look the best ball, and it's easily cleared. Yeah, he is a diamond, isn't he? And
Yeah,
then-
he's been a real
yeah.
find. Never knew anything about him. Obviously, he came from League One, but yeah, he picks up good areas. He's a clever footballer, Paul.
Here he is on
He's,
the ball.
he's a good
Yeah.
a physical presence as well. He's quite a big lad.
6'2" or something, isn't he?
Yep.
6'1".
But he's certainly, since he's come up here, he's
Oh,
impressed.
look what's happening. Scott Arfield's coming on, and so is the return
had
of
to do it, didn't he?
Alfredo Morelos. He's coming back on in the 60th minute, and it's Malik Tillman, the Bayern Munich player, coming off, and also Antonio Cholak.
I would have made the substitution. Look, how can you argue with Gio in terms of what he's done since he's come in at Rangers? But I would have made
Bit
the
earlier.
substitutions
Yeah.
at half time, Paul.
Rangers just need something to happen here. They need a goal. They need a bit of inspiration from somewhere. Celtic have not started the second half brilliantly. It looks as if they're quite happy with 3-0. It'll be a fantastic result if that was the case. Yes, they'd like to nick one or two more goals on the counter, but Rangers just need something. And by bringing Morelos on, keeping Cholak on as well, is Cholak stayed on?
No, he's gone off.
He's
Cholak has gone off. Yeah.
But Morelos
Just an
now-
instance there.
But he's
a long
capable-
ball into him.
he's
Johnny
capable
holds
of
it.
doing something,
Yeah.
isn't he?
He's going to make the two defenders work.
Morelos is on
Because he's
the
a
pitch.
physical presence, Paul, but also
Yep.
he's good technically. He knows he takes up good areas. He can hold the ball in. He can link up as well. His Sholak's more of a penalty box. He wants deliveries from the wide area.
Well, there's half an hour to go, and it's a massive half an hour for both sides, especially probably Rangers. They don't want to come away with a 3-0 defeat at Celtic days before Ajax, and also 5 points clear. I mean, let's see what happens the next half hour from a Celtic point of view.
Listen, the
What a
Rangers
way to
fans
go
inside
into
that
the game.
stadium, Paul, and the Rangers fans watching it, they want to see a reaction.
Sure.
You're 3-0 down. Yep, it's tough. It is tough. It's going to be tough for Rangers to get back into the game. You need to let's show a wee bit of dig. And the changes that he's made, listen, I think they're two good changes. Arfield, I think.
You wanted him at half time.
Yeah, I thought he would have started
I know
again,
you
Paul.
did said last night. You
I
said
did.
on the show.
I just
Yeah.
like Scott Arfield. He's a dying breed in terms of a midfielder. He makes great runs into the box.
Look at O'Reilly here for Celtic, charging forward. He wants more. He's not content with 3. And he's won. Is it a throw-in at the far side? 61 and a half minutes gone. It's Abada to O'Reilly. O'Reilly looks up. What are the options? Plays it into Hatate. He could have a shot 20 yards out. Slides it through looking for Giakoumakis. But John, it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just a little bit tight there, just trying to play in little tight areas. Hatate just couldn't quite shift it to one side and get his shot away. But again, it's decent play. But I wouldn't be long, I wouldn't have thought, before we see the likes of Turnbull, the likes of Maeda, possibly there's more options for Ange to make that type of substitution, which is not good news from a Rangers point of view.
Are you surprised, John, that Rangers didn't make more changes at half time to bring on maybe Morelos or, more importantly, Arfield for his movement, energy?
Well, again, like Barry said, I don't think it's difficult to question, anything what GVB does, because he's done so well.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit surprised because I thought maybe Morelos straight on at half time, right straight on at half time and have a real go. Then you got 45 minutes. So, yeah, slightly surprised. But again, I think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst knows what he's doing.
Okay. They've got 28 minutes left plus stoppages. Celtic are 3 up in the derby. It's Rangers coming forward. Ball played out to Scott Wright. Goes to the run down the right. Knocks it into the box. We haven't seen Morelos yet. As Celtic clear. And it's Jota. It's brilliant play there, isn't it? Lovely touch. Gets away from Tavernier. To be fair to the Rangers captain, he's come back. In fact, as he left something on it there, it's going to be a free kick to Celtic. We'll see what happens.
He's a top player,
Jota.
Yep.
What did you see there, Barry? The touch when he came.
Yeah, he's full of tricks.
Yep.
Again, he's one of the players nobody knew anything about. What I find, I think at that, I don't know what John thinks. £6 million. They pay. I think Celtic will struggle to hold on to him if he continues this sort of form that he shows week in and week out in a Celtic jersey, because it's not just his assists, it's his goals as well, Paul.
I'll go to John in a moment. Here comes Rio Hatate. He goes for a shot. It's wide. So Barry would not like to see. It's a great point.
Yeah, somebody could buy him if they want.
In the next 20 minutes, Barry's saying that's what I was going to say. John, we said it last season. He's a steal.
The figure was actually 6.8 million. They paid Benfica at the start of the season just to secure him on a long-term deal. Carter Vickers secure him.
How much is Jota going to be worth if he continues like this?
Well, we don't know. I think we've got the Champions League now coming up, haven't we? So that's the platform for Jota.
Of course.
But listen, players move on. Players come with the right type of offer. Celtic have shown before, with the right types of offers, then they know that they will sell players. But what you want 3 or 4 good years out of these players first. You want to improve the team, and then you get to a situation where you say, well, I've scored 100 odd goals, I've done brilliantly well for the club, and then your representatives go, well, now look at Kieran Tierney, for instance. We thought he'd be a Celtic for the rest of his life. All of a sudden he's playing Champions League, but now these players are also getting a chance to play Champions League. So you don't want to sell these players as soon as they come in. But a ridiculous offer comes in, Paul. A club like Celtic and Rangers, look at Bassi, look at other players, you have to look at it. Because we are shopping in a different market to what other teams around Europe are.
65 minutes gone. Celtic 3, Rangers 0. It's Celtic coming forward. Down the right, out to Abada. Abada for Juranovic, plays it into the box, but that's a poor cross, goes straight into the arms of John McLaughlin. Barry, what are you thinking?
They broke again really quick. Joe Hart starting the move. O'Reilly picks the ball up, plays a great ball wide, and then Juranovic makes overlap, and let's be honest, that is a poor ball, Paul. You could see the 2 Celtic players in the Rangers box. I think it was Hatate and Giakoumakis were disappointed in the delivery.
If you're in the cars heading to the games, Motherwell Dundee United this afternoon, Livingston against Hearts, Hibs Kilmarnock, Ross County Aberdeen, and St Johnstone St Mirren. Here in Glasgow, biggest derby in the world, Celtic 3, Rangers 0. And we just see on Sky there the Celtic fans quite rightly lapping it up, enjoying it. The early kick-off, John, if your team wins, it's a fantastic weekend.
Absolutely. You know, they've faced Rangers for the first time this season. Celtic have put a marker down this afternoon. I fancied them. I said before the game, I looked at the way they've started the league. They got the bit between their teeth. The system is working. And besides that, they've got very, very good players, Paul. It helps when you've got good players, you know. And I really fancy them today. But listen, there's 25 minutes to go. It could be more. Rangers might pull one back. But I think we all know where the 3 points are firmly going.
Here comes Leo Labata looking for his hat-trick. Would be his second in a week. He tries to slide it through to Giakoumakis. Doesn't quite come off. I wonder if it's slightly different. It's not Kyogo. Giakoumakis maybe not quite get the movement of Kyogo. Or was it just a poor pass?
I think, to be honest with you, Paul, and I think John will agree with me, and I think Giakoumakis' movement inside the box is really good. Watch him.
It is very good, and he just needs service. And if he gets decent service, he'll go and attack the ball.
Celtic coming forward again, John.
He's scored an array of goals, overhead kicks, simple tap-ins. You know, he's shown that he's a bit of everything. Do you know, he can do the lot.
So Abada had a shot there, John. What's the manager going to say to him if they watch that again on Monday? Because there was no real purpose in that shot. You know, the manager's always demanding more.
Well, he's probably thinking he can bend. It's a left foot shot. He's probably thinking he can come inside and bend it round the far. And you can do that at 3-0, Paul. You're 3-0 up, the pressure's off. If you want to take a shot and it's not really going to test the goalkeeper, you're 3-0 up. If you're 3-0 down and you're chasing the game and you're looking for a bit of quality, a Barda to go to the byline and whip in across, it's a bit different. But when you're 3-0 up, you can try things.
This is coming from... Yeah, we're coming from the Gorbals in the heart of Glasgow, just a few hundred yards from the city centre, the Go Radio Football Show, with Macklin Motors, Barry Ferguson, John Hartson, Paul Cooney. Celtic 3 up, a double from Abada in the first half, and Jota with the third goal. As Rangers now come forward down the left, but it's easily picked up and cleared. Although it's a poor clearance, and here come Rangers down the left. Barisic whips it in, looking for Morelos, gets a touch. He tries to turn, but they're kind of beaten there by Jens. That was a chance, Barry, for Rangers.
Yeah, it was a chance. I couldn't see because Chris, the producer, was in front of the TV.
He's done so well. But here come Rangers again. Chance. Play the ball in. Jens again clears out to Jota. Jota to Taylor. Taylor plays the ball along the line. It's going to go out of play. Throw in. John, was that a chance there for Rangers, for Morelos?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think maybe a sharp Morelos does a little bit. But it was half a chance really. But the fact that he's on the pitch now causing a little. You don't want to take that devilment out of him too much. By the way, you don't want him now to be feeling a little bit worried about throwing his body around and backing in. You don't want to take that side out. That's made him the player that he is. So you got to be careful now which way that you treat Morelos, because he might be worried now about getting his next booking. Do you know what I mean, Barry?
Yeah, he's totally 100%. You need that bit of devilment.
Of course you do.
He needs to play on the edge.
You don't want him feeling subdued when he goes on the pitch. If I make a mistake,
he's got ahead of that.
Barry's now seeing the replay.
He's got to throw his body.
This is just, I know
it's
he
lacking
makes
sharpness, Paul, but he's no any game time.
Now we know
normally, I think his decision would have been made through his body at it, his head at it. But in terms of Morelos, he's got to play on the edge. He needs to ruffle feathers up. And as I said, if you take that out of his game, he's not the same player.
And he's
through.
Long ball through. Morelos, good shot, but it's maybe a yard pass. But that was a bit of intent, Barry, and a chance for Rangers.
Yeah, it was a good ball over it. What's going on here?
We're going to see what happens. We thought for the replay. Scott Arfield is claiming something. The ball went over the top. Joe Hart's not happy. We'll have to see it again. It was the ball is played for a goal kick.
What's he doing?
Joe Hart has played the ball straight to the Rangers player and then wants to blame somebody else. He's saying he's not outside the box. Scott Arfield.
I don't know what.
No, I don't know. I think Joe's in the wrong there. He's made the mistake.
Of course, he's played it straight to a Rangers player. What is he thinking about?
Does that ball have to come out of the 18-yard box? Or can Arfield just get onto it there?
Maeda and Moy are going to come on. You cannot take your eyes off this or your ears for a second.
But also, if it's a mistake from Joe Hart, it's a poor miss. Because he's on right on the edge of the box.
Yeah. And Rangers, with 20 minutes to go, could suddenly be in the ascendancy, albeit they would have been 3-1 down. There's still 3 goals down. We'll see that in a moment or two. That was a bizarre piece of play. And I know Celtic have only lost 1 goal so far this season, but in the league, question marks at times. That was weird. We'll have to see it again. So Moy is going to come on, and so too is Maeda. You would imagine Abada. And we'll see. As Rangers come forward again, then to Morelos.
The good runs, clever runs. I know he's offside there, but look, he occupies centre backs, Morelos.
Almost like he's given the team. Rangers are now having a goal. For the first time, they're actually on the front foot, looking as if, looking for Morelos, looking to players to get close to him for the ball.
Sure.
Get around him.
I watched Celtic during the week, Paul, and Moy was really good. Good footballer. Listen, he's played Premier League down in England.
So O'Reilly just going off. Moy coming on, he's class act.
But you just look at the quality for both sides. Look at who Rangers have brought on, Morelos and Arfield, and then now you look at Celtic with Moy, Turnbull and Maeda.
Well done for Abada, Hatate and O'Reilly.
He loves the triple, sometimes a quadruple substitution.
He does, doesn't he? What about Lil Abada, the Israeli international? Fast becoming a real fan's favourite, John.
He's done brilliantly this afternoon. Another 2 goals to his name. Getting in, I keep mentioning it, when the ball's on the opposite side, getting in, being a threat from the other side of the pitch. Really 2 good finishes. Done what he needed to do today. Really affected the game. Hatate again's had a good game without being outstanding. And O'Reilly, well, he's just a cultured football player, isn't he? Always looks as if he got time on the ball, picks really nice passes into the front. Good players.
So 72 minutes 40 seconds gone in this first Old Firm derby of the season, and it's Celtic at the moment who look as though they will take all the honours. They're 3 up with 17 minutes to go. The ball at the other end to McLaughlin out to Sands. He plays it out to Barisic, back to Sands. been a good game that way, Barry, isn't it? There's been nothing, there's been no red cards, thank goodness. We hate to see any of that.
And do you know what? I think the referee, as we spoke about earlier on, Paul, I think he's had a real good game. The referee, a couple of bootings, a bit soft in my eyes, but I think genuinely the referee's had a real good game.
So Rangers coming forward. Stephen Davis looks up, just chips it out to the right. It's good ball to his captain, James Tavernier. Tavernier plays it to Scott Wright, who came on at half-time for Glenn Kamara, which surprised Barry. Morella's involved there with Arfield trying to fashion something, but it breaks down as David Turnbull gets his first touch, plays it to Jota, back to Turnbull, but he loses out to Davis. Davis to Arfield, the energy of Arfield, plays it out to the right to Tavernier. Tavernier looks up, can he play it through to Scott Wright? He doesn't read the run, and it goes all the way out. It's going to be a goal kick. I'd keep the camera on Joe Hart here. They've gone to Tavernier, but I think Sky should stay on it and let's see you can't look away, John, in this. It's different. Normally in games, I'm no TV director. Some say no radio presenter, but you can't take your eyes off it. Here come Rangers now. It's Ryan Kent, 25 yards out. He's got Scott Arfield to his left. Maeda's tracking back, goes to Morella's. The subs are all on it. It's Morella's. Tries to hold it up, but he's tackled there by Callum McGregor. Does well. Up over the halfway line. What are the options? It would have been Abada a few moments ago, but he's gone off. There's no one up with him, so he holds up the ball. Maeda comes forward. He plays it back to Aaron Moy. Also joined Celtic just a few weeks ago. He looks up, plays it to, it's McGregor. McGregor to Turnbull. Turnbull out to Jota. Jota, who scored Celtic's second goal today, plays it Turnbull. Turnbull back to Jota. They're happy just to run it down, the clock down. They play it forward to Turnbull. Barry, what did you spot there? Celtic still coming forward.
I don't know why Scott Wright is standing beside Tavernier when the ball goes to Jota. You can't leave a guy of that quality with that amount of space.
Naive. Beyond naive. As Celtic still in the ball, they're just happy, John, to knock it about. This one's down the clock.
I think they'll take a little bit of impetus from the substitutions, fresh legs that have just come on.
Good ball from Moy, isn't it, to Maeda? Plays it in, but that's easily cleared. Sorry, John Hartson, you were saying?
I think Celtic Rangers have been slightly better than what they were in the first half, but I also think as well, Paul, you can almost say Celtic have took their foot off the gas slightly because they haven't had to do a lot in the second half. But listen, the substitute Celtic again pressing here. Giakoumakis edge of the box gives it away. Callum McGregor. Moy will just come on, and he's got, as Barry said, he's got loads of experience. He just showed things up in the middle of the park.
Giakoumakis, a hungry striker. John, he'll be desperate to get a goal.
He will in this game as well, because that goes down on your goal record as and they're very special, Derby goals. You
remember your first Derby goal?
I do. It was actually flagged off for offside, but it was onside.
You said so that doesn't count, John.
That was a nightmare for me.
He's still trying to get over it. As Celtic come forward again, we'll get the real answer in a moment or two.
No, that is the real answer.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what was your next one? Wait a minute, here comes Juranovic. Is he going to have a pop? He does, but it's about a yard high and wide.
But these are the games that you endear yourself to the home crowd. When you can get goals in the big games. But listen, I wouldn't have got them goals without Thompson and Petrov and Lambert and these guys sliding me in. As many goals as Henrik Larsson got. I'm sure Henrik will be first to say, what about Sutton setting him up and Lambert and these guys?
Yeah. Fashion Sakala is coming on for Rangers, as is Ryan Jack. Barry, who's going off?
Ryan Kent and Lundstrom.
Have they given so much, do you think, now? The manager said, right, OK, this game's lost. We're now thinking of Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he's thinking of Wednesday now. Yeah. It's going to be tough to get back into it. Lundstrom and Kent are important players. But also, if you remember back to the other game at Celtic Park last year when Sakala came on, he caused real problems with his pace. And that's one thing he's got. He's got genuine pace. And Ryan Jack brings that experience and know-how into the middle of the pitch.
Got to say though, but the Rangers have been a lot better in the second half, haven't they? They've come out and
it's too late, but
it's too late, and they haven't managed.
Here we go.
And it's going to be a goal for Celtic. Celtic have made it 4-0. John McLaughlin has played it. Turnbull gets the ball. He played it to Turnbull. It's what happened at the end of the pitch. 78 minutes gone. Celtic 4, Rangers 0. David Turnbull.
What a mistake. John McLaughlin. Would he think about McGregor today? John McLaughlin, maybe Abada's goal, that mistake there. What's he doing here? Have a look at it.
No pressure. Oh, plays it straight.
That's just schoolboy.
I'm going to be honest here, right?
Yep.
I'm all for trying to play football,
Yep.
right? But see, sometimes just get the ball out your feet and get it up the pitch.
Boot it up the park.
Yeah, I'm seeing this too often. Everybody wants to play the Barcelona, Man City way. Yeah, but it's good when it works. But see, at this stage, a bit of pressure comes on you there. Just get it up the pitch. Morelos is on. He's a physical presence. Go and play off him.
The assist goes down to the goalkeeper.
In terms of John McLaughlin, look, I've said plenty of times before, I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I honestly do. But when you're talking about levels, I look at Alan McGregor. I don't care what age he is. He's 40-year-old.
Yep.
Alan McGregor, he's still a top quality goalkeeper. For me, he's the best goalkeeper at Rangers.
Do you think Alan's putting his foot through that?
Yeah.
Yep.
John, here comes Celtic again. Giakoumakis, but he shoots wide. John, from a Celtic point of view, this is a 4-0 victory.
It's 4, and as I said at half time, Rangers needed to get that next goal when it was 3. Shocking mistake from the Rangers goalkeeper McLaughlin, and he's allowed Turnbull in, and now there was no way back anyway. But the game is.
Look at McGregor though. You know, nearly 80 minutes gone. He's sharp. He's in. Sands is caught out, and that was nearly goal number 5.
Yeah. Well, I said that. I said the Rangers, you don't want to be making it embarrassing now. 4,
Right
5
now,
or 6.
there's been a mistake made.
Yep.
Right, if it comes back to John McLaughlin here, it's got to go up the pitch. Now, I'm all for playing nice football, Paul.
I know, but
I get it, but there's a stage where you can't take chances.
Yep.
And if you feel that, I know a manager's saying, no, I want you to do it. Listen, be safe.
Yeah.
Get it out the danger area.
If they've been told by managers you have to play it, across the back four or whatever.
Yeah, I get that. You're told that you play a certain way. I've played in teams where we want to play out, but you've got to make a decision when you're on the pitch.
Celtic will be
Get
looking
out the danger area.
Rangers now look rattled, having had the better part of the second half, but as Barry said, it's probably too late. It is too late now. 10 minutes to go. It's going to be a corner kick to Celtic. Are they going to go for goal number 5? It's 4-0 in the derby. Jota takes it to David Turnbull, the ex-Motherwell man, the Scotland international. They play a 1-2 to each other 3 times, play it back to Aaron Moy, but flags up.
That was a good spot from the ref.
Offside,
wow.
yeah. It's spotted there, so...
The weirdest offside I've ever seen in my life, by the way, that.
What's that, John?
That was the weirdest offside call. Jota plays it short, they're playing back, they're almost halfway, as near the halfway line. Giakoumakis is standing in the middle of the park, and the linesman on the far side that give him offside.
But Rangers have played it back to the goalkeeper, who's had to play it out, and not that successfully, but they're putting themselves in jeopardy. Joe Hart did it 10 minutes ago. He played the ball straight to Scott Arfield. Rangers should have been at 3-1. John McLaughlin did it. Celtic are 4-0, but it's going to be a free kick.
Can you remember Joe Hart in this game having a shot to save? That will be the disappointing thing from Rangers. They've not tested.
Here come Rangers coming forward. Sorry, John.
They've not tested Joe Hart. I think the first 20 minutes and for 15-20 minutes in the second half, Rangers have been okay. Work rate, commitment, desire, but other than that, it's been very convincing for Celtic.
Look at that. The cameras have just gone on Alan McGregor and then to John McLaughlin. He's a very good goalkeeper. Alan McGregor's a great goalkeeper.
That's the difference. But listen, John McLaughlin, in my eyes, since he's come in, he has done well. And look, I'm not going to absolute slaughter him. It's a bad mistake. You can't hide that, Paul. But in terms of, I said at the start of the season when there was a lot of people chatting who's going to be the number 1, and I gave you my opinion. I thought Alan McGregor has got to be number 1, but he's choosing John McLaughlin, who again I said is a very good goalkeeper. But you're talking levels here. Alan McGregor for me is a great goalkeeper, a top class goalkeeper who's proved it season upon season. In big games he's produced big moments.
It all depends how GVB sort of sees it. Is he waiting for John McLaughlin to make a bad mistake? Is he waiting for him to concede 4 goals and then he switches it? He brings McGregor in straight away, or has he almost said, "Look, John McLaughlin is going to be my goalkeeper for the whole season, irrespective of mistakes, Alan McGregor, you can stay at the club and you can be number 2 goalkeeper. Or is Alan McGregor thinking, well, I want to play. I'm waiting for the goalkeeper to make a mistake so I can be in.
John, 7 minutes to go. Celtic 4 up. They're coming down the right, but they just take their time. Play it back to David Turnbull. He plays it back to CCV, who plays it to Moritz Jens, who came on for Karl Starfelt about 15 minutes ago. The only downside for Celtic is the loss of Kyogo, and that's something we'll be looking out for to find out. It was the shoulder injury. Looked like a dislocation in the first minute of play, 55 seconds. As Rangers now come out of defence, can they salvage something? A goal, 2 goals. Celtic, can they make it 5? But they'd be happy with 4-0 as Morelos tries to get the better of a Celtic player there just down below us here. But it's played forward all the way back. Barry, I know we don't want to talk about the midweek games yet, but they're going to have to dust themselves down and pick up and make changes for... Well, are they going to make changes? What are you feeling about Ajax on Wednesday?
Well, my feeling, I've not even thought about it. My feelings, I'm just thinking about this.
Sure. Let's sure. I get
I'll
it.
be honest with you. I just I would go back to the goals. I think all 4 goals are avoidable, Paul. I'm not taking away that they're good finishes and good passes from Celtic players and good touches, but I just think the 4 goals are totally avoidable, and this is a sore one. I never seen this coming, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people were really confident in Celtic beating Rangers. I just thought Rangers with their European, like their performance in Eindhoven, I'll go back to it was last week, I thought was a real professional performance, set up really well and hard to beat, solid and compact. And when they got the ball, they played to their strengths. But look, there's no argument. Celtic have been way and far the better team here.
It's been a thumping, Paul. That's what it's been. It's been a thumping. Yeah, Rangers could have stopped a few of the goals. A little bit naive, not standing over the ball, stopping Celtic play. The big players haven't turned up today. Jack's been okay. He's ran with the ball once or twice. Again, Tavernier has not really influenced the game from that. These are players that Rangers turn to every week. Morelos comes on, he's off the bench, he's still finding his fitness. Cholak, 7 goals in 7 games, missed a header in the first half. And to be fair, the credit has to go to Celtic. They've been magnificent this afternoon.
John Hartson, Barry Ferguson, Paul Cooney. It's a free kick to Celtic, and it's Jota. How far out is that, John? 35 yards.
Jota with an in-swinger with his right
Plays
foot.
it up into the box, but it's easily collected by McLaughlin, who throws it out underarm out to James Tavernier. Tavernier, 4 minutes plus stoppages. There'll probably be 4 because of all the substitutions. He's pulled
Tavernier
down
never
there.
does that.
Yep, he's gone down. He's holding his leg, isn't he?
You think
Barry?
he was carrying an injury badge, didn't you? Before
There was
the
talk that he was struggling in the lead up to the game, John.
Let's see it.
And look, he's not been himself today.
No, yeah,
I think it is maybe part to play that he is carrying an injury. And it looks like a knee there, but I hope he's all right. Listen, he's such an important player, but it's not just Tavernier. Look, Celtic have been the better team, Paul. I'm not going to get away from the fact is it's been disappointing. The goals have been disappointing, and
it's got to hurt, doesn't it? This has got. If this was Celtic, I'd be saying this has to hurt the players, and Rangers now need to bounce back against Ajax. They need a performance.
Here's Fashion Sakala. He's far out. The picture just froze there, but frozen, and it's beginning to. We'll keep you right up to date. With the backup, it's going to be a goal kick. It's going to quickly be taken by Joe Hart. 3 minutes left in the game.
It's hard to make a case for Rangers, Barry, isn't it? Really?
Listen,
it's hard to make a case for them. I know that 1 or 2 of the goals could have been avoided, but they weren't. They weren't avoided. Celtic have scored 4 goals. You know, Rangers haven't scored a goal, basically. They haven't really tested. Joe Hart's not had a save to make.
In these sort of games, John, in terms of the first goal with switching off, you can't allow that to happen again.
No.
And that's what they've done. And for me, I'll go back to the word I used, it's really naive from Rangers' point of view. But in terms of the game, Celtic have been the better team. There's no doubt about it. And this is a sore one, and it's got to hurt them. Because I'm sure the 900 fans at our Celtic Park are hurting badly. I'm sure they'll stay there until the end.
Rangers fans around the world watching this.
Yep, people listening, people watching. It's a sore one to take. And listen, it ruins It ruins weekends, doesn't it? These sort of games, the Celtic fans are going to be absolute buzzing the way out, and the Rangers fans are going to be absolute devastated.
Here's a free kick for Rangers. James Tavernier, 30 yards out, just chips it up, looking to Calla. Good touch there, saved by goalkeeper Joe Hart.
It's a lovely ball in. It's a really nice ball in, but again, Tavernier would normally put his foot through that. 25, 30 yards out. Goldson, gets above Maeda. That's a mismatch. Maeda marking Goldson on the far post. Rangers corner, last couple of minutes to go.
Yep. Minute and a half plus stoppage. So James Tavernier, hands up, you know the way he does it. Looking for options for this corner kick. The linesman is on the pitch. Don't care what they call him, Barry. We still call him.
Oh, you've got to call him assistant referees.
Oh, have you? All right.
Yep.
Points lost at Park, at the headquarters at Hampden. Here we go. James Tavernier does that wee run up, plays it high to the far post, to the head of Alfredo Morelos. It goes behind. Referee says it's going to be another corner at the other end. Rangers playing towards the traditional, what they used to call the Rangers end. There's only 800 Rangers fans today. Came off the head of Morelos. John, must have come off a Celtic boot. It's going to be a corner kick at the other side. Barisic.
They like the outswinger, don't they? Rather than maybe I like Tavernier from the left, the in-swingers, but Rangers tend to prefer it this way where the ball swings out so they can go and attack the ball from these corners.
I think in-swingers are more dangerous. Yeah, it causes more problems for the defenders, and the goalkeepers don't like that either.
Here comes Barisic. Out to Maeda. He just chests it down, and his pace, he gets away from Stephen Davis. He's been pulled down by Goldson. It's going to be a yellow card. Barry thought maybe, we'll see if he was the last man.
No, he wasn't. I'm just looking in terms of.
Yeah. Giakoumakis, I think, is calling for the red card. Does it matter at this time?
Well,
I think there's enough players back.
This is cynical. He's took him out.
Okay.
He's not really, but that is cynical.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue, it's certainly a yellow, but you could argue that that's just taking a player out of the game, isn't it?
Is it a red card for you, John?
Well, it could have been. Another referee could have given a red. All right, he's got a yellow. Maeda's not really running towards goal, but it's a cynical tackle. That's what you'd say about that.
I don't think he's endanger him. If you watch the tackle when it slows down, Paul, there's no stud showing. It's one of the ones.
He's just took him out. Just took him
cynical.
out.
Yeah, but it's like Lundstrom.
Aye. Yeah.
At Easter Road.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, I think Nick Walsh, fair play to him.
Done all right.
Yep, he has. You've got to give him credit for that. This is his first Old Firm game. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
It is. Yeah, we'll check it on Gar on Monday night, Barry, with Joe Junk. And also on the score predictor, well, it's Tino who's ahead because Gary thought it was Rangers. Tino, the Celtic fan, was going for his own team. But Rangers coming forward. We're in the last, a minute to go of injury time. 2 has been added by the referee as Rangers come forward. It's going to be a free kick to Rangers. 30 yards out, just right hand side here at Celtic Park as James Tavernier stands over the ball. Yep, the score predictor with Clyde Built Home Improvements. We'll be doing that on Monday. There's £1,000 that could be won by Tino, the Celtic fan, because Gary, we're still interested for Monday, but you've got this one wrong. And this might be the last piece of play, John Hartson.
See this out. Yeah. They want a clean sheet.
As it's headed, it's off a Celtic head, goes all the way back, saved by Joe Hart's going to be a corner. Came off the head of Callum McGregor.
Yeah, and Joe Hart's just outstretched a little bit there. There's a little bit of zip on the surface, a bit of rain, and Joe Hart's just making sure, and he just palms it around the post for another Rangers corner. 10 seconds to go. Ball
into the box, headed away by Celtic. It's going to be Benzema and co who'll be in town on Tuesday night. The ball's gone out of play. That's it. Ange Postecoglou and Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, a warm shake, both of them, which is good to see with the managers. It's Celtic's day in the derby. 4-goal victory at home. Lila Bada, Kyogo, who went off after a minute, but Lila Bada. John, who's your man of the match?
My man of the match would have to go to Abada. 2 goals, 3 goals last week, but another 2 today. Affected the game, arguably won the game as well for Celtic with them 2 goals. 3-0 up at half time. Celtic again, just relentless, beating Rangers, who were the second best team in Scotland, 4-0. What can you say? Everybody was at it. Rangers, there'd be questions asked from their dressing room, from the crowd, everything else. But, from a Celtic point of view, a magnificent win this afternoon. 4 goals, clean sheet, outstanding.
And John, Barry, fair play to Celtic.
Yeah, the better team won. I can't argue. I can't defend Celtic. You just see, I can't defend Rangers. Sorry. You see Gio just going over to the fans and apologising. It looks like, because he'll be absolute fuming, Paul. They're bad goals. I don't care what anybody says. If you watch football, they're really bad goals to lose. But listen, at the end of the day, Celtic were a better team and they deserved it. Now you've got to take what comes, Paul. I've been involved in the back of sore ones against your arch rivals, and you're going to come in for a bit of criticism. You need to stand tall, you need to accept it, and you need to come back with a strong performance. And that first game is going to be at a tough place in Amsterdam against Ajax.
It sure is. Celtic, after 6 games, stay top of the table on 18 points. The goal difference now 24. Rangers on second position after 6 games. They're on 13 points. The goal difference is 11. And then we've got the full card this afternoon. John, quick break and then we're back. And you can call John Hartson, you can call Barry Ferguson. Celtic fans, what are you thinking? How good were your team this afternoon? Can Rangers catch you? And how are you shaping up for Tuesday night with Real Madrid? And for Rangers fans, naive, switched off, what do you think? 0808 17 17 700. And to pick yourselves up for Ajax in Amsterdam on Wednesday.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Buy your next car completely online at macklinmotors.com.
Let's go!
Service your existing car with us right now.
And it's worth £500 off your next car.
Yes, at Macklin Motors Toyota, we'll give you a £500 voucher off any of our brand new Toyotas when you book in for a service with our expert Toyota trained technicians.
We even have complimentary courtesy cars available, so book your service now and get £500 off any new Toyota.
Visit macklinmotors.co.uk or see us at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Macklin Motors, the new name for Toyota sales and servicing in Glasgow.
Valid. Service your existing car with us right now.
And it's worth £500 off your next car.
Yes, at Macklin Motors Toyota, we'll give you a £500 voucher off any of our brand new Toyotas when you book in for a service with our expert Toyota trained technicians.
We even have complimentary courtesy cars available, so book your service now and get £500 off any new Toyota.
Visit macklinmotors.co.uk or see us at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Macklin Motors, the new name for Toyota sales and servicing in Glasgow.
Valid on services till 30th September. Excludes Motability and fleet customers. One £500 voucher per vehicle purchased by 31st December.
The Go Radio Football Show with macklinmotors.com. Hosted by Paul Cooney, Barry Ferguson and John Hartson. Listen live weeknights from 5. Talking Scottish football first.
Let's go!
Saturday, it's only 26 minutes past 2, and that's the main event today has come and gone, and it's Celtic's day. Celtic 4. Rangers 0. John Hartson, Barry Ferguson, Paul Cooney. We're taking your calls, and there's lots on the socials as well at Go Football Show. And calls coming in 0808 17 17 700. John, the Celtic players are still out there 5 minutes after, and as well they might. They deserve it this afternoon. What's the news on Kyogo a few moments ago?
I was just celebrated with the fans, and I would imagine that his shoulder would be in a swing. In a sling.
Yep.
But he's gone over and he's bouncing around, and obviously he's got trainers on, and he's slipped. His sort of legs went from underneath him, and he slipped over, and then Joe Hart went and picked him up. But could have been quite nasty, that one.
John, how will you remember this game from a Celtic point of view?
A great performance, I think, from a Celtic point of view. We got the green and half white to Glasgow. The Celtic fans will be absolutely overjoyed. It's a brilliant performance. It's a clean sheet. It's 4-0. And from a Rangers point of view, I've been on the end of these defeats. It's got to hurt. It's really got to hurt. And then what you've got to do, you've got to take it on the chin, try and get over it as quickly as possible, because you've got no time to dwell on these things, Paul. They've got another big game Tuesday. Then they've got the league campaign to continue to try and keep as close as they can to Celtic. And then you're waiting for the next game, which will be at Ibrox, to come around. But it's got to hurt. But from a Celtic point of view, Barry said here himself, former Rangers captain, Scotland captain, Celtic were the better team today and thoroughly deserved to win the game.
Barry, what do you say to your players, your old colleague GVB? What does he do now in the dressing room? Is he having a go at them, or what does he do?
Yeah, I would suspect that he'll not be a happy man, and near he should be, because as I said, the goals not good enough at that level, Paul. It can happen once in a game, but you can't let it happen a second and third time. Plain and simple, Paul, Celtic were a better team today, and they're going to come in for a bit of flack, no doubt about it. They've let a lot of people down. They'll be, if they're professionals, they'll know they've let themselves down today, but no getting away for the fact that Celtic were stronger in all departments, and it's a sore one to lose.
It'll be sore for Derek, who's called in. Hello, Derek.
Hey, good evening, Paul. Good evening, panel. I said the other night there, Paul, that I believed if Celtic won, the league season was finished.
You did.
I think you've got to question. Yeah, I think you've got to question the manager today. You've went to Celtic Park, and again last season they hammered the screen, I think, in Celtic Park. You went there that defence that have been leaking goals against Livingston and 2 against Hibs, and you went with the same back four that are clearly not good enough. He went to 3 at the back. His midfield, no creative midfielder. His goalkeeper, he was a number 2 for how many years, and all of a sudden he's meant to be the best keeper at the club. There should be a replacement goalkeeper if he wasn't going to play Alan McGregor. The left back that you've signed from Turkey, never get not playing him. You spent £6 million in him. You spent £3.5 million from a defender from Liverpool and not playing him. Serious questions have got to be asked of the manager. And I know Barry's going to sit there and defend him. I'm sorry, but all season, Barry, maybe the European games, Barry, Rangers have been rotten in the league.
Yeah, I can't defend that performance, Derek. I said it on here. And in terms of changing the defence, who do you change it with? The only issue you've got, Derek, as you mentioned there, the £3.5 million or £4 million for Liverpool is injured. Souttar's injured. Go to a back three. You suggesting that Lundstrom could have maybe went into that back three? Is that what you're thinking of? Changing it that way and going with the wing backs?
King, but if the story's true, and I'll not repeat it on air about Ben Davies, then that's clear shown with the club for signing a player. And I'll not repeat a personal problem about him.
I don't know.
Yeah, but in terms of
is,
watching the game,
sure.
Derek, I'm sure you watched the game, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to be honest and say that they switched off at the 3 goals. I know the 4th is a mistake for McLaughlin, but the 3 goals are totally avoidable.
See I think it was the Jota one.
Yep.
That was a 50-50. McLaughlin was to blame for all the goals. The one that was right through him, that's even saved. The first one took a slight deflection, too slow to get down. The other one, the Jota, that's a 50-50. He should off his line and Clapperton.
Is going to make changes, can he, Barry, with the keeper? I know you've said all along, same as Derek, Yep.
Paul, I think they've got to question the boards, because if they can't back the manager should either be resigning or telling the fans what's going on.
Well, where was the chequebook?
Derek, you can't say the manager's got to resign. The manager took you to a Europa League final 2 months ago. Look at the teams you beat. You cannot say that.
John, you're playing in Glasgow. You're as good as your last result in Glasgow. I don't mean to be cheeky, but didn't win the Europa League.
You've been beaten, Derek. You've been beaten today by a better team on the day. Celtic are now a different animal under Ange. It's very, very difficult to go out to Celtic Park and get wins. You've been beaten really, really comfortable. Yeah, you can talk about you should have stopped goals and been a bit naive, But you cannot be calling for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's head after 6 league games.
He can call for what he likes, John, because he's a Rangers fan. He pays his money.
Is that realistic, Paul?
No, I don't think. I think what he said there just beforehand was
he should
what about the board?
resign.
No, well, what I took was where was the chequebook to bolster the defence? For whatever reason, Davis is out, Suter's out, and we all thought there would be something on transfer deadline
I said
day.
last night, I was surprised that Rangers didn't go and make a couple of signings. Surprised with the injuries they've got just now, but also, as you're saying, getting through PSV, the 35-40 million pound. I was more than positive, or more than sure, that Rangers would have brought in a couple of players which was needed with obviously the injuries. And listen, it's always good to bring players in, Derek, and freshen things up, because it makes other players round about them.
Rangers have been crying for a creative midfielder, Barry, but since Steven Gerrard was the Rangers manager. Rangers have no player in that midfield. See when Oribe wasn't playing last season, Rangers struggled.
Yep.
Rangers have been horrible to watch on all season. So don't say it's just a one-off game at Celtic.
No, I don't agree.
Derek,
I just don't agree with the fact that you're trying to out the manager after 6 league games on about how well he's done, particularly in Europe.
Okay.
I think there's an overreaction here to today's poor loss against Celtic. I don't agree with calling for the manager's head right now. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is a good manager, an experienced manager, and it's interesting to see when fans change their tune after a bad defeat. It's a bad day at the office, but I don't agree with calling for the Rangers manager's head.
Loads of calls coming in. To be fair to Derek, he's been consistent about it with GVB. Some would say a bit harsh on him.
Listen, it's all about opinion,
exactly,
Paul.
yeah. And he's Rangers
people
fan.
have right to have an opinion. Derek's
Absolutely.
opinion. Listen, it's a sore one. Derek's feeling it. I'm feeling it. Hundreds of thousands of Rangers fans are feeling it at this moment in time.
What did you bring in then? Let's have a look at it. You brought in Tillman, good player. You brought in Lawrence. You brought in
Matondo hasn't featured.
Matondo. You
not
brought in
featured.
Sholak, who's got 7 goals in 7 games.
Sure. Okay.
And, so you brought a few players in.
We've got John Hartson defending the Rangers manager.
I disagree with calling for his head. I think he's a very good manager.
Craig's on in Cumbernauld. Craig, you are... Well, what are you thinking about it, Craig?
How are we doing, guys? Listen, first of all, to describe that performance in a word, it would be pathetic. Not one of those players looked like they were up for it today. They all looked knackered, and I don't get why, because none of them, or 90% of the players who started, didn't play during the week. So they've had a good rest, the same as the Celtic players, and they look tired. They look like they would rather be anywhere else, especially in that first half. It was an absolute disgrace. Now look, Celtic are a good side. There's no doubt about that. But we're going away and playing sides in Europe who are better sides than Celtic and putting in 10 times better performances. We've not once over the course of the last couple of years in Europe have we been turned over the way Celtic have done to us again for the second time in 3 matches at Celtic Park. Look, it's going to be a tough game. You know that. I'm not necessarily expecting to go there and beat Celtic all the time. But to put in performances like that, consistency, this isn't just a one-off. This is the second time in 6 months that this has happened. Now, people will swoon over Celtic and how good they are, and they are very good. I just don't think that they're that good that we should be going there and accepting getting turned over.
I agree, Derek. Sorry, Craig. Yep. I agree with what you're saying. I think Celtic are a very good team, but I think Rangers are making them look even better with the performance today. Yeah. I honestly do. I'm not taking away that Celtic have got very good players, but I was taken aback with the performance. And you can have a bad day at the office, but the goals, Craig, the goals are ridiculous. They just switch off. They switch off, and you cannot do that against a team like Celtic, because everybody knows the way that Celtic play. They play at a high tempo, and they want things done quickly. They go and sprint, quick free kick, quick throw in, quick corner kick. I feel if I'm repeating myself, but you've got to learn. You should know that going in a game. You should expect that, and that's where I'm really disappointed. And it'll be interesting to see what Gio's views are on the goal. The fourth one, it's just a mistake for John McLaughlin. You can't say otherwise. But the other 3 goals. First one, you can accept in terms of the switched off, but you can't switch off a second and third time against a good team, because a good team is going to hurt you.
John, how did you see it?
I think Celtic can play better than that today. I think if they've won 4-0, Rangers haven't put a glove on them. I thought the first 20 minutes they started okay, Rangers. They tried to close Celtic down high up the pitch. They won a few loose balls, but then the goal set them back. Abada across from the left. Rangers never got close. They allowed the ball to come into their own box too easily. Abada goes. You know what these games are like. If you get the first goal, particularly away from home, the home crowd gets up. It becomes tougher for the opposition. And then I just felt that Celtic can actually play a lot better. I think today they were a little bit wasteful once or twice in front of goal. I think the players sort of dropped off the level in the second half naturally because they were 3-0 up. The game was dead and buried. But I think the Rangers' performance was poor. I think they had two measly attempts on target on the Celtic goal, and I certainly expected Celtic to win the game today. I said that on air, but I certainly expected a bit more fight, a bit more desire. You know, in these type of games, your big players didn't turn up. Kent, fits and starts. I thought Tavernier probably had one of the worst games in a Rangers shirt that I've seen. He never really got quality balls into the box. He's somebody that makes you goals. Barisic was excellent on the left-hand side, but you couldn't really get people on the end of his crosses. Cholak missed a decent header in the first half. If he scored that, it could have been different. But it was 4-0. And honestly, yes, Celtic have played well and they've won the game at a canter. But I genuinely think that they can play better.
Here's Duncan on the socials and he's saying, "Hi guys, I'm a Rangers fan, totally disgusted with the performance today. The board is to blame. Not enough signings. Bassey, Aribo, they haven't been replaced. Questions need to be asked. The team didn't turn up." Craig, I think that's how you feel.
Oh, absolutely. When we qualified for the Champions League and got that money, everybody thought, right, okay, we've got about a week left here of the transfer window, let's go and bring something. But you can see, particularly in the defence, how desperate we are to get defenders in the door. Because right now, we've lost Balogun, we've not replaced him. We've lost Bassey, we haven't replaced him. Helander is injured, and he has been injured for the best part of the last year, really. So he's not maybe Mr. Reliable. Katic, we've let him go out the door, and there's not been a replacement. John Souttar, okay, he's come in, but he played one game against Livingston, and then I know he lost his brother, which was a shame, but he's just disappeared now. He's not anywhere near the fold either. Yeah. And James Sands, look, he has had a couple of decent performances. I'm not going to take that away from him. I thought he played well against PSV in the second leg, but he is not a centre back, and that can't be the solution. So why we didn't do that, I really don't know. But it's equally why I don't get why Gio decides to set up with the tactics he did the day higher, because
Craig,
we know.
Craig, what do you do now? You can't change it now. The window's shut. You've got to hope that Souttar comes back. Obviously, you just mentioned his brother, which is terrible for him personally. Balogun, I thought, was a big, strong centre-half, going head it in both boxes. You got rid of Balogun. Bassey's a great deal.
Helander's not fit.
And then you got Patterson, who also went, so you got almost £40 million for two defenders. Patterson was a good deal, I thought, because they didn't really want to play him. They were going for Tavernier all the time. Patterson weren't really, featuring too much. So now, what do? Do you get behind the manager? Do you keep, yes, it's a poor performance, but this is what you've got now. You can't change it. The window's shut.
Craig, we're going to have to move on just now.
I'm just watching these goals again.
I know. It's great from a Celtic point of view.
Do you know what? It's
Rangers,
getting worse every time I'm watching it. I'm just looking at the third goal from Abada there.
Yep.
They're jogging. Sprint out to your man. That's the basics of football. The basics of football. I just watched the second one, McCallum McGregor taking the quick free kick. You've got Ryan Kent and John Lundstrom turning their back. Go and somebody just stand in the ball and stop them from doing the quick free kick. Go and take a booking for your team. I don't know what Craig's feeling is on it, but I think they're avoidable. All 4 goals that Celtic scored. And I'm not taking it away for Celtic. Celtic were a better team, a country mile on the day. But they 4 goals that Rangers conceded are avoidable.
Craig, we'll speak to you soon. It's an afternoon when Celtic won 4-0.
The Go Radio Football Show with MacklinMotors.com. Your local friendly experts for new and used cars.
Let's go.
The big match has finished. They're pouring into the cars and the buses. The 800 Rangers fans still held there at the ground. The Celtic fans off to enjoy the weekend. It's Celtic 4, Rangers 0. A double for Leal Abada. Jota scored a goal, the second goal, and David Turnbull came on and scored. So, the story of the afternoon. Rangers fans are calling in big numbers, and Celtic fans too. Here's Kevin on the line in Bells Hill. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi there. No problem. I've got music in back. Music?
Yeah, on you go. Kevin, are you hearing us okay?
Yeah.
Good. What are you thinking? What about that this afternoon?
Fantastic. I actually was on the phone to you the other day and I said 4-0.
You did. I remember the other night. That's right. So on you go. Tell us about your afternoon, what you thought of it.
No, fantastic. The total play. I was expecting maybe a bit more, actually.
I was as well.
Yeah, so John.
Me and Barry in the studio were thinking the frightening thing is that Celtic can play a lot better. I thought at times that the passing went away once or twice. I thought the two goals, John McLaughlin was at fault for Turnbull's goal, but I thought Abada was excellent in terms of his positional play. But certainly, I genuinely feel, which is a frightening thought, that Celtic can be a lot better.
Even more so, Barry.
I thought Celtic were good. I've seen Celtic play better and be exceptional, and
the February
that just shows you what the game was like today. Like there's no two ways about it, Paul. Celtic were miles in front of Rangers the day, and it's a sore one. Look, Kevin's obviously absolute buzzing with it, and so Celtic fans should be.
Yes, I am.
Yep.
But from a Rangers point of view, poor performance.
Kevin, who was your standout or standouts for Celtic?
Abada.
Yeah,
He was my man of the match. Yeah.
He's a talent, so he is.
Isn't he? The confidence that he's gained, Kevin,
And to think as well, Paul, there was questions whether Ange would start with the ball. So obviously he had major faith in the boy. 20 years of age, and his numbers are frightening. Doesn't play through the middle, plays out wide. But gets himself in that position where he can affect the game and score goals. He generally, when he gets in, he scores. He gets an opportunity.
The thing,
and
John,
scores.
is watch him when it's on the left hand side, if it's Jota or Taylor or whoever, he's always gambling to get in areas.
That's right.
And generally, when he gets in the areas, the ball falls to him. And to be fair to him, today he was in one of their moods. He was probably up there with Jota. Again, I thought Callum McGregor in the middle of the pitch just controlled it.
he was Callum McGregor, wasn't he? He's just Callum McGregor.
That's what he does.
You get it every time.
Yeah, you expect that.
Yeah.
He's always a 7-8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But look, from a Celtic point of view, look, they'll be absolutely delighted. But from a Rangers point of view, it's not good enough.
Kevin, what do you want to ask Barry and John? Because you're thinking about Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we can actually turn over Real Madrid. So I think that.
No, I don't think. Listen, Kevin, I think if Real Madrid are not particularly on their A game, let's not forget they are the European champions. But Celtic,
I don't forget that.
But Celtic at Celtic Park have beaten all comers over the years. The AC Milans, the Barcelonas, I'll go on, and Celtic, if they go and perform and pass the ball the way they can, I think Kyogo's a huge loss for us. I think it just brings that real quality through the middle of the pitch. Giacomakis, he'll come in and he'll deputise for Kyogo.
Yep.
Hopefully he'll be a threat himself, which he will. And there may be one or two changes to the team because of tired legs, naturally. But hopefully, the back four, I think Starfelt maybe got a knock today on his knee, so Jens might start the game. But no, listen, I think Celtic have got every reason to be optimistic about getting something on Tuesday night.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly, John. But also, we've not been playing that many games, so we've got fresh legs. We've been training the team's been training all week. This is the end of it, kind of beginning of European games. So the guys, they're ready to play. We've got the squad for it.
Yeah.
Barry, it's a step up going to the Champions League and not least playing the champions of Europe. But
yeah, look, you're talking about world class players. There's a player, Real Madrid, who I could watch 24/7. The boy
playing against you, Barry.
Modric in the middle of the pitch. He's just in a different planet. And you've got Benzema up top. So listen, it's going to be a tough night. But again, I always say it. I was lucky enough, so was John, lucky enough to play Champions League. And when you play at home with the support behind you, you never know what could happen. Never know.
We're just checking there. Ange Postecoglou is being interviewed at the moment. He's doubtful for Tuesday. Don't know for sure, but doubtful. And you would expect that, John, wouldn't you, when you see the shoulder injury? And you just mentioned big blow without Kyogo. But
big blow.
Yeah.
And if the shoulders come out of the socket, then even if it's put back into the socket by the physios, it's going to be incredibly sore. And the problem Kyogo has, it's 3 days. It's a real short time to recover. Okay. So whether he can do it in time, I'm not sure. And I don't think they can afford to risk Kyogo because he's going to be so influential for them for the remainder of the season.
Let's hear from the captain, the Celtic captain, speaking after the game to Sky Sports, obviously. This is what he was saying a few moments ago.
The intensity we started the game at was fantastic. You know, they struggled to live with us at times with the press, and then when we got it, we were super clean, really aggressive in the game, and obviously they get the goal to start us off, and it just kicks the whole stadium off as well. But, you know, superb from start to finish.
Kevin, what's your scoreline against Real Madrid then? You're super optimistic. Well, your team won 4-0 against Rangers. What's happening on Tuesday?
2-1.
2-1 for Celtic, you reckon. Thanks, Kevin. 0808 17 17 700. That's it for tomorrow night. We're taking more calls just now, but enjoy the rest of the day. We're just hearing Giovanni Van Bronckhorst being interviewed at the moment. John, could you imagine 4-0? I think you did fancy Celtic for sure, but 4-0.
No, I didn't see 4-0, but I saw Celtic winning. I wouldn't even say comfortable because I wouldn't want to be disrespectful to Rangers. But I thought that Celtic would win the game. I think they had the bit between their teeth. They had momentum. The way that the players and the way that they've been playing the system, 2 hat-tricks last weekend, Kyogo and Abada. I just had a feeling today, Paul. I had a real good feeling. Celtic at home, but with the potential to go clear, 5 points clear. I was just all over them today. I really, really were, and they didn't disappoint.
Barry, you've been listening to a bit of Giovanni speaking to Sky. What's he saying?
They were asking him about the goals, and he says you can't lose goals in that manner. I said that, Paul. You'd be absolute fuming. They just switch off, lack of concentration. It can happen once, but I'll go back. I feel I'm repeating myself. You can't let it happen a second, third time. So, he's disappointed in the goals, and clearly so he should be. Sure. And if you look at him just now, he looks angry, frustrated, and
he should.
I would be.
Yeah,
I would be.
It's not what he expected today, and with Ajax, and I know it's really early to think about that, but I guess that's what.
Do you know what they need to think? They need to think about what's just happened.
Okay,
in that game.
What does he do with them? I know I asked you about 10 minutes ago. So
watch it, go through the goals.
Yeah,
watch it. That's what I would do.
And would you have them in tomorrow or whatever and say, right, we're sitting down, or whenever, but to sit
they'll probably have a rest day tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Gio has them in after the game, but if it's tomorrow, if it's Monday morning, then you need to get through that with fine comb, and they're avoidable. They're avoidable because for me, people are switching off. The report also asked, is it a bit of an attitude? I don't think it's attitude. I think the players' attitude's good. There's no doubt about that. I just think it's a lack of concentration and switching off, and you cannot switch off against a good team because when you do that, Paul, good teams punish you.
Yeah. Craig earlier said some of them looked kind of tired. I don't know, I didn't see that. Did you see them looking tired? I mean, they switched off at those key moments.
You can use all sorts of excuses. At the end of the day, Celtic were better.
Yeah.
More ruthless.
And that's why I got a little bit boisterous with that caller.
Yeah.
Because Rangers have played 5 games this season, 6 games this year. All right, they lost a big one today. They hate losing against their arch rivals. But coming into the game, they'd only dropped 2 points against Hibs. They've been fantastic in Europe, not just this season, but the last 2 seasons gone by.
There's a story of the day, John. Sorry,
and then you get people calling for the manager's head.
Sure.
I totally disagree with it.
I agree. I think it's far too early. Look, John's right. Look, Derek's just frustrated. He's like many Rangers fans. Like I'm sitting here, I'm a bit taken aback with the result and the performance. I've been honest with you. That's got to hurt, because hundreds of thousands of Rangers fans will be hurting. That dressing room's got to be hurting so much. But it's up to the experienced guys to get everybody together, because you can't have a repeat of that. Again, as I said, the goals that Rangers lost today were totally avoidable in my eyes.
And John, the Celtic fans love you, and you see it there. It finishes on Sky. We'll finish shortly with an afternoon, not quite an afternoon in the sun, but it'll feel like it for them.
Oh, definitely. They'll be delighted. They'll go home. They'll all be confident now of taking on Real Madrid on Tuesday night. But it's a great victory. Anytime, Paul, I've been on the back end of winning these big games against Rangers, your biggest rivals. I've been on lots of losses in semi-finals, in finals, and you'll feel hurt, you'll feel you've let everybody down. And that's the way Rangers players should feel today. They have let the supporters down, because to a man, they weren't at it today. And Celtic have won, and they've won at a canter. They've won 4-0. That wasn't even tight today. So Celtic fans will be delighted. The Rangers fans will be they'll be hurt, and then they'll be asking some questions of that group of players. Are
you going to celebrate your day, John? Have you've got family at the game today?
I'm going to go back and I'll pick up my son from the stadium, who a good friend actually took him to the game today. And then I'm going to go home, relax tonight. Might have a bit of food with the kids, and have a couple of cans of Stella. And then
that's a plug.
And then wake up tomorrow, Paul, with the family. Have a lovely day. Hope it's sunny. I'll have a bit of barbecue at the back garden. I live a normal life, Paul. I don't live this. I'm just live normal, pal. That's all I do.
Two superstars with us today.
You want to know what I'm doing?
Yeah, I'm not. Go on.
Getting the biggest, most expensive bottle of red
wine.
Listen,
it's hurting. It's one of the ones you go back and listen, it's going to be a sore one. Sore one, because listen, I always say, leading up to these games, it was always my thought, the bragging rights the following week for the fans who go to work, and there's always a mixture of Rangers and Celtic fans. Celtic fans will be buzzing, rightly so, because their team were miles in front of Rangers today. But for the Rangers fans, it's going to be a sore one, and it's all about the reaction now. But they need to show a reaction, because the Rangers fans will be hurting at this moment in time. So I'm going home to shut the curtains and cry.
That'll take you about half an hour. Oh, there'll all be electronic curtains, won't they, all over the house? Listen, you listening, thank you for tuning in this afternoon. You could be with Barry on Wednesday at the Radisson Red. You can be with Big John on Tuesday. Just go to thisisgo.co.uk. It'll be the European nights, which we're looking forward to. Celtic fans will enjoy the next couple of days. Rangers fans, you dust yourself down for Ajax on Wednesday. Thanks, Chris. Thanks to everyone who's been on this afternoon. John, thanks a million. Barry, honest as always. Take it easy. And you and I will be back Monday night, Barry, as usual, live at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show with Macklin Motors. Buy your next car completely online at macklinmotors.com.
Let's go!
Service your existing car with us right now,
and it's worth £500 off your next car.
Yes, at Macklin Motors Toyota, we'll give you a £500 voucher off any of our brand new Toyotas when you book in for a service with our expert Toyota trained technicians.
We even have complimentary courtesy cars available, so book your service now and get £500 off any new Toyota.
Visit macklinmotors.co.uk or see us at Kennishead Road, Darnley.
Macklin Motors, the new name for Toyota sales and servicing in Glasgow.
Valid on services till 30th September. Excludes Motability and fleet customers. One £500 voucher per vehicle.